What's up, people? Welcome to What in the Entire Hell? No, fuck is this? That's the name of our show, and we call it that because it was something else before. What was it called? I think it was called Tell It Tuesday, but that name lasted like a week, and then it changed to this name because everybody that was watching the show, every single question, they were like, "What the fuck?" So that's changed the name of the show to that. So, welcome to the show. What we do here is go over previously submitted advice questions. This is not the show for live on the spot advice questions. These people have sent their questions in advance. My cousin has put them into this wonderful document right here. I read the questions, I give you the answer just off the cuff. I'm seeing the questions for the first time when you see the questions, when you hear the questions rather, because I don't know, it just adds an element of surprise, and I think people like that. If you have a question that you'd like to get presented on this show, please look in the show description down below. Just expand the little box, scroll down, and you'll see something that says submit your question or free advice, something like that. Anyway, you click that link and it'll take you to the advice submission form. You just fill that out and send it in. And I have to tell you, not every question is selected for the column, at least not right away. So but I mean, if you don't send it in, you definitely won't get an answer. And what we try to do is, get some interesting things and that kind of have a broad appeal to a lot of different people because a lot of these situations keep happening over and over. We get questions in from all over the world, and this become a really international audience on this show. So thanks everybody for coming. I see a lot of my usual and customary folks up in here and a couple of new names in the chat stream. If you send in a question, be sure to listen not only to my answer, but also check the chat stream because a lot of the times they'll have, other suggestions or ideas, thoughts, or whatever. They've had that personal situation that they're sharing with you, or they may live in the geographic area that the question writer does and they have more insight than I do being here in California. Okay. So let's get started. Looks like we have 25 questions today. So everybody get your vino, beer, brewski, water, whatever you're gonna have, and let's get going. This is What the Fuck Tuesday for June 15th, 2021. Question number one. Male, 26 to 29 from Columbus, Ohio. And he writes, I need advice about how to speak to my sister. I'm 28 and my younger sister's 25. She's getting married in a month. Our dad is addicted to drugs. We spoke to him and he agreed to get help for my sister's sake, but he hasn't. He's getting worse and spiraling out of control. My mom claims that she's talked to my sister and she doesn't care and wants him there regardless. She's asked me to speak to her and have her tell him that he cannot talk at the wedding. I'm so concerned that he'll ruin her wedding. The drugs make him crazy paranoid, like people are following him. They have access to his phone and email and control it, and they're listening in on conversations, etc. He moved out from my mom to live with my aunt while he gets help, and she said that he told her he doesn't think the drugs are bad. I literally don't know what to do. My mom is concerned he's going to embarrass our family at the wedding. What in the world should I do here? You should do nothing. Okay, now let me explain this to you because I know you love your sister, you're concerned, you want her to have a nice wedding. I understand all that, I get it. But see, you start to get edging into the area of codependence where you're taking on more responsibility for your sister's wedding and your sister's choices and your sister's life than she is. Dude, you can't do that. So your sister said that it's fine and she wants him there. That's okay. That's it. That's the end of your decision making. That's the end of your power. That's it. You don't have nothing else to say. So what you do, you get your sister a nice wedding gift. You show up at the wedding with all shiny suited up and with your smile on and all that stuff, and then you just let the chips fall where they may. Now, what you could do, un, you know, like on a backdoor tip, is have a couple of your friends on standby. Make sure you have some big buff dudes from the gym and then if he gets to acting a little too jiggy, because there's going to be a certain point where he may start flipping over to where he starts harassing the other guests. He starts trying to hurt people. He's over talking the vows or something like that. In a situation where he's like extremely disruptive and or trying to hurt somebody, then you and your bro friends each get an arm and a leg and you drag him the hell up out of there. Okay. And then I don't know what you're going to do with him after that. You got to make those kind of plans. So it's good to have a contingency plan. But as far as trying to prevent him from coming and all that kind of stuff, you're not going to do that. You're just going to have a plan for if he starts talking shit to somebody, he starts attacking your mother, he starts attacking your sister, he wants to fight somebody. You see what I mean? That kind of stuff. Then you quickly and quietly, you make the signal to your boys. The 4 or 5 of y'all get up, grab him, and drag him out. And then that's going to be the end of that. Okay? And that's what I would suggest that you do. But you know, I can feel your anxiety through the letter, and I want you to calm down. You do put your contingency plan in place, like I said, and y'all have a place where you're gonna take him. Put all the ducks in a row to get him out of there if he starts acting stupid. But he may not. He may come and act really normal, in which case it'll be fine. But you cannot prevent him from coming. And I want you to stop harassing your sister. I want you to stop talking to your mother about it. You just chill out, put your contingency plan in place, and then that's it. You got, if he gets jiggy, then you handle it. All right? That's it. That's all you got to do. Let's move on to question number 2. I'm just like so amazed at how these things come to me, like so fast. Anyway, let's move on to question number 2. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group. She's from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. We've been seeing each other for over a year. I'm 20 and he is 24. I don't. Hey, everybody. I see a lot of new names in here tonight. We've been okay. He says he was badly hurt by a previous relationship. Oh, here we go. I need a sound file that plays a violin, so when these kind of letters come through, I could just hit the button and it goes to while I read the letter, because these dudes be just copping all kind of pleas. Now he doesn't want to show anyone on his social media anything about me. His close friends know me and his family for sure. I'm not exactly hidden. He posts everything else about his life except for me. We could be at dinner and he would post his food and tag the restaurant, but not me. I won't even be featured and I'm sitting right next to him. He says it's because it's nobody's business. But it kind of hurts and he knows it. It's been an issue for some time. What should I do? I'm gonna say this because you're only 20. You're younger than my daughter, and you guys are in a different kind of social. In your social, your age, what age is that? Generation Z? I know it's older than millennials. My daughter's a millennial. I think that's Gen Z. But anyway, whatever y'all are, you guys are really into your putting your entire life on social media. Every single angle of you want a selfie, everything. Look, I'm eating. I have the fork to my face. Now I have the fork in my hair, and I'm putting on lipstick. I mean, you chronicle your every move on social media with selfies and all this kind of stuff, and you want everybody to know, it's meaningful to you that relationship status on Facebook or TikTok or wherever y'all be putting that up there, and that means a lot to you. See, to me, it means zero. Like on my Facebook and stuff, I don't have anything about all of that. Some people put, oh, it's complicated, it's this, it's that. I'm like, I'm not putting nothing because ain't none of y'all's business. But see, he is copping that plea about, I've been so hurt before. I'm going to tell you my personal position on that. If a grown man tells me some shit like that, I'm chucking up the deuces and I'm out. You know why? Because I that's gonna be his excuse for every kind of mistreatment that and where he ignores you and doesn't try to validate your relationship, won't say I love you, won't feel love, will use you, say harsh things to you, all kind of stuff he's gonna use that as his cloak of cover. So soon as a man tells me that or even hints at that for his reason for doing or not doing anything in regards to me, I'm out. So you've been dealing with this for a year. You're not happy with this part of the relationship. You want to be validated. You want to be acknowledged publicly. And he refuses to do that. So then I have to ask you, how much, if this means that much to you, which everything it does since you wrote in about it, then that means it's not the man for you. You want a man who's going to be proudly telling the world, this is my lady. she's so beautiful. Look at her. She's beautiful. She's wonderful. This is where we went. This is where I took her. This is us with our matching hats on. That's the kind of stuff that you want, and you're never gonna get it from this dude because he already copped that plea. So you have some thinking to do, and I really hate this, because somebody who's like they wrote, people write me and they complain and they most paste these comments, why is your answer always, leave him? The answer is because you gotta understand two things. Number one is ain't nobody in a happy relationship writing advice columnists. Okay, that ought to tell you that's like 90% of why I say leave them. The other 10% is when you have a situation where a woman is in a relationship where she's being emotionally, mentally, or physically abused, financially abused, that kind of stuff. The thing that makes sense is for her to leave that relationship. A lot of times they're writing to me because they just want acknowledgement that what they're thinking and feeling is correct, that they're not crazy like the dude is telling them, that they're not overly sensitive or making a big deal out of nothing like the guy tells them. See, that's emotional abuse and it's gaslighting. So these women are in these kind of situations and they finally get the courage to write. Well, I'm going to tell them, this is not a healthy situation for you. This is like demeaning to you. It's ruining your self esteem. It's making you miserable, depressed, upset. You're crying. I mean, you're not happy. Why would you stay? Why would you want me to tell somebody to stay in a relationship that's making them miserable? I never get that. I don't understand why people get in such a, they panties in a bunch about it. It's like, what do you think I'm going to tell them? Oh, just say and suffer. The most important thing is that, you have a man and not be single. I will never say that. Never. This channel is about female empowerment. It's about finding your way, getting your self-esteem back, setting boundaries, and learning about yourself and finding your voice, especially for these young ones. So that would be the very opposite of what I try to preach here. So I will never say that. So those of you who's going to complain, well, you tell them to break up. Yes, and I'm going to keep doing that because this is not the right relationship. I want every woman to be in a situation where she's adored, she's loved, she's cherished. Her man is protecting her. Her man treats her like she's something really precious and wonderful. That's what you want. That's what I want for you. And if you ain't in that kind of situation and you're hurting, I'm going to definitely tell you to get the hell away from that man. So if that's a problem for some of you, you don't want to hear that, then you might want to click off. Okay, this is not the spot for you then, because this ain't that kind of channel. I'm not gonna be one of them women that's that advocating pick meism. We don't do that here. Every woman deserves to have a kind of relationship with a man who adores and cherishes her. If that's not what dude is offering, I'm gonna tell you to kick his ass to the curb and move it. Keep it moving. Find the next dude. And you keep going until you find a dude that treats you the way that you want to be treated. And it's just that simple. Okay? So, those of you who don't think that, women should have that option, they ought to stay in some situation where they're being mistreated. I'm telling you, on the wrong channel if that's what your mentality is. Because I'm never going to say that. Let's move on now that I'm off my soapbox. And I'm feeling pretty good, you guys. I'm on day what 5 of my antibiotics on a 10-day schedule, so I'm halfway through, and I'm feeling much better. My stomach still hurts though, but the rest of me feels better. So I'm like, we're on the right path. Okay, so question number 3. This is a young lady in a 25 to 29 age group out of Dustville, USA, aka Washington D.C. That's right, Shay. I'm 25, but I'm currently 9 weeks pregnant. Hmm. I got tested for STIs the beginning of March and was clear. When I found out I was pregnant, my baby daddy, he's 36, and I decided to keep the baby, and he was telling me it was now his number one priority and was actually playing the part well of being supportive and etc. I asked him around week 4 into the pregnancy if he'd been with anyone else since I last got tested while we were separated so I could go get tested again and make sure nothing was going on or jeopardize the health and development of the baby. He swore to me that he hadn't, besides kissing one girl, and that was it. I believed him considering we had spent almost every weekend together. I emphasized the importance of it being purely about the baby, and I didn't ask for details. Just a yes or no answer so I could go get tested. He said no. He's had a history of lying, so I emphasize the health of the baby to get him to understand the severity of his answer if he lied. Okay, you're being redundant. I asked him a few times throughout the last few weeks. His answer was always the same. But yesterday, I had a feeling that he lied to me. I told him I needed the truth. It was stressing, and I was stressing throughout the entire conversation because he went from saying he didn't do anything to saying things like it's none of your business and it shouldn't effing matter. I freaked out because that's a for sure sign that he was lying. Did I react the best in the moment? No. I cried, I yelled, and after about 5 minutes, I calmed down. But then the truth came out that not only did he have eggplant with a girl, but he came home to me hours later and had eggplant with me too. Now I'm now stressed that I'm a quarter of the way of my pregnancy is done, and there's a possibility that my baby could be in danger. Regardless of my personal health hurt, I feel like he decided his reputation and facade of changing over what he says is his number one priority in the health and safety of his own child. I broke up with him and told him I'll talk to him when we have therapy and when my appointments are. I don't want him to come back and I try to downplay what he did, but I can't just tell him he's not allowed in his child's life or the pregnancy process. Therapy is the first step, but what boundaries would you suggest for now moving forward? You know what your smartest move is? To take your ass to anybody who will do a 9-week abortion. That's what your best bet is to get rid of this dust bucket fool and his raggedy ass baby. Now, I know that's not going to be a popular opinion, but see, you already know you with a fucker. Okay, he's a lying, sneaky, drag ass dog. That's who you chose to have your child by? That's who you chose to be the father for your child. That's the gene pool that you thought was the absolute best to replicate and have a child wandering around looking like it, acting like him. That was your decision making. What you should have done was gotten an abortion. What you should not have done was run around asking if he lied and cheated over and over and over and over. Because the fact that you felt like you had to ask him all that and get tested for STIs and all that kind of stuff proves that you know you knew he was a lying dog. And yet, you made the decision to go forward with the pregnancy with a man that you're not even with. You wasn't with him, you call him my baby daddy. Plus, he's too old anyway. Wait a minute. How? I forgot. I remember reading this thinking he was too old for you. Okay, you 25 and he's 36. Really? Girlfriend, I don't know. See, this is the kind of stuff that drives me crazy. So now you're going to have a child that was fathered by an idiot in a relationship that didn't exist, in a situation that makes no fucking sense, and this is what you chose to do. And then you asking me writing and asking me what you should do. I already told you. It's probably not too late. You better get on the phone and find somebody who get rid of that shit. It's too late for birth control. Don't talk about what coulda, shoulda, woulda in that was like that. We so past that. That's not even on the table. We're talking about the situation right now and what she can do to rectify it. What she coulda, woulda, shoulda done, 10 months ago or 10 weeks ago rather. We're not even going to waste time on that. We're talking about how to resolve this problem and to resolve this problem to get rid of him and in the next 18 years of drama that you're going to have. And Lord, please, because you don't know what else he's been doing, don't let something happen to where your kid is got some issues. And then you're going to be sitting up there trying to struggle and take care of a child with disabilities, whether they be mental, learning disabilities, whatever, by yourself at 25 years old. This makes no fucking sense. If I was your mother, I would be beating your ass with a stick to make you have a miscarriage. That's what I would do. Because this makes no fucking sense at all. I don't know what you thinking. And then me trying to put all this focus on him being a cheater and all this kind of stuff. No, let's talk about you and their stupid ass decision making. That's what we're gonna talk about. Okay, because you already knew he was stupid. That's why you was checking for STIs and all that stuff. You knew he was stupid. And once you found out from you was pregnant, you shouldn't even have said shit to him. That would have been the time to go and call up somebody and then get rid of it. And then tell him way later, oh yeah, by the way, a long time ago I was pregnant with your baby, but I dumped that shit. I got rid of it because I don't want to be bothered with you. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, and he's a bum, right? Look at his behavior at 36. He's not going to be a responsible father. He's not going to be there to take care of this child and teach it anything sensible. This was a stupid, stupid, stupid donkey ass decision that you made. Like I said, you probably got a week or two to fix it, but you better move fast. Yeah, they can, but I mean, you can get antibiotics. It's a special treatment process, but all of that is irrelevant to the fact that she's setting herself up for 18, 20, 30 years of bullshit by having a baby by a fool. This makes no goddamn sense. Oh, that's apology money. Thanks, Leandra. She's so generous. I just don't even. I'm disgusted. Let me just put it that way. All the time I be talking about what not to do and how to take care of yourself and make smart decisions, and then here this is, and you write me with this bullshit. This makes no fucking sense. My God, and I really feel sorry for that kid. Got two idiots for parents. Your feelings gonna be hurt because I said that? Ask me if I care. I told you, if you don't have sensitive feelings and stuff, I'm not the person to write because I'm gonna tell you on the real. And this was stupid decision making. Question number 4, male, 45 to 50, Waterbury, Connecticut. My girlfriend is 46 and she got money from an inheritance from about 3 years ago. We have talked in depth about, quote, building a life together, together being the optimum word. But last month, she went and bought a house without including me in any of that process. There was no consideration for how I felt, what I thought, or how this would fit into our future. 99% of the time, things are great, but this house was a huge life event. She claims that she figured I would just move in with her at some point. But what mooch would want to just move into someone's house? Am I wrong for feeling like this relationship isn't really one at all? Oh, it is a relationship, it's just not the one you want. Let me explain this to you, home skillet. Where are you again? See, I forgot that quick. Waterbury, Connecticut. Well, I don't know what the laws are in Connecticut. I can only talk about what I know in some other states that I've worked in the legal field in. And in most states, if you have an inheritance, that is not considered community property, okay? And to be considered community property, one must be married. Oh, look, there's two things that don't apply to you. One, you ain't married, and number two, that's her inheritance, so you don't have a say so in it. So there's two things that's none of your fucking business. Okay? So you don't have a say so in whether she buys a house or goes up and down the street just throwing money up in the air. It's none of your concern, sir, because it ain't about you. Now, you want to talk about you having a life together and stuff, then why wasn't you proposing and getting married? Huh? Huh? What? Yeah, I thought so. So, fuck out of here with this shit. You want everything on your terms, but you ain't positioning yourself to be the one that's the shot caller and the big baller. You're just a scrub. And you sitting up there trying to tell her what to do with her money? So, is the relationship not what you want? Then get the fuck on. How about that? She got her house. You know what I mean? I'm like, these dudes be tripping me out with their sense of entitlement and thinking that she's gonna be running some shit. I'm glad she bought herself a house, and you know what? Should you propose and she does consent to marry your trifling two-bit piece of shit ass, I wouldn't do it coming at me like this. I would be through with you. But everybody ain't me, and women don't think like me, because I would be giving you all kind of side eye and then decide that I don't want to be with you no more. And then so if she just should decide to consent to marry you, what you're supposed to do, sir, is provide your woman with a house. So see, then she could rent her house out, and then y'all live in the house that you buy or that you buy together. How about that? But see, you haven't done shit. You ain't put up no money for nothing. You ain't talked about what you guys were shopping for a house together to buy. You weren't talking about when you was gonna propose and you had the ring. See, nothing about what you're talking about indicated any kind of permanency for this woman. So she went on and did what she needed to do to make permanency for herself. And now you got an attitude. How about that? This is just too unbelievable. I'm only on letter 3 and I'm already 4 rather, and I already got an attitude. This is like, I can't even imagine how hard I would be cussing him out if this was my boyfriend telling me some shit like that. All up in his feeling. Am I wrong for feeling like this relationship isn't really one at all? Let's move on. Question number 5. This is a young lady in the 18 to 21 age group from Mesa, Arizona. I recently had this text conversation with a guy trying to set up a second date. Now I'm wondering if I ruined my chance. Wait a minute, how long is this? Oh, it's not too bad. Me, can you hang out on Sunday? Guy, can I let you know on Saturday? That's the day before. I'm swamped with work and might need the whole weekend to myself. Oh, really? Me? Well, that makes sense. But it seems to answer some unspoken questions that make me think it might not be a good idea after all. Do you want to hang out again? Me again when he took a while to respond. I understand if you need to rest, but I don't have the energy for mixed signals. I appreciate the honesty. Guy, honestly, it is way too early for this conversation, so it's probably not a good idea. Youch. I meant to let him know that I was looking for something serious eventually and that I'm not okay with being asked to wait around, but I didn't mean to launch into a where's this relationship going conversation that early. So I have two questions. Can I salvage this without coming across even more needy and dramatic? And question two, what is a lighter, less dramatic way of letting someone know you want to spend time with them while not wanting to wait around for them that won't be so easily misinterpreted? This is when you, instead of texting, is you pick up the phone and you call somebody. Now, should you have done this? Absolutely not. So from the first text, you was wrong. Okay, you don't ask a man to hang out with you. You don't ask him for a date. You don't ask him for his hand in marriage. You don't ask him to move in with you. You don't ask him for shit in a relationship. Either he gives it to you voluntarily or not at all. Okay, see, that's the difference. When you chase a dude down, that's really, my this is my thinking, and I know some women disagree. My feeling is this: having been in situations where a man was fixated, he was focused on me. He saw the glory that would be in his life if he could land me to be his woman. Okay, that's the kind of man that you want. You want a man who appreciates you, who thinks you're a fucking prize, who is like, oh my God, this woman is so fucking fantabulous. I have got to be with her. She makes all the other women I've been with and I ever met anything look like dog shit. I want this one. This is the one that it's got to be her. Okay, so then he's going to be like a slow and steady, kind of like the Terminator, just coming, coming, coming. It'll be slow, it'll be steady, it'll be stable, it'll be consistent. That's the man that you want. You don't want who's going to come in, just love mama you and all that kind of stuff like a lot of you get caught up in. That's not, he's not serious. He's just after the panties. But if you got a guy who's slow and steady and everything is advancing, but even if it's slow, he's advancing in commitment, in time spent, in money spent, in energy exerted towards you. You're meeting more of his friends, you're meeting more of his family, slowly but surely, but everything is moving forward. That's the man that you want in a relationship. And he's going to tell you. You're not going to have to ask him out. You're not going to have to ask him nothing. He's going to ask you. He's going to make the ones to be the suggestion. I want to get with you. I want to see you. When are you available? Let's get together. He's going to say that. And that's what you should be waiting for. Not like you have to wait for just one dude to do it. I'm not saying that at all. You go out and about, you be single, you do your thing. But I'm just saying, you never text a man and ask him to hang out. You never call a man and ask him to date you. You never do this. Because this is what happens. If he was interested in you, he would have called you. If he were interested in you, he would have texted you. That's what you 18 and 19-year-olds like to do. Right? So you got the response that you deserve to get by jumping the gun and being too needy and desperate. The man don't want you. That's why he did not call you. That's why he did not ask you out. He was not interested. Okay? Understand what that means. If a man is interested in you, he's going to make it known. This dude didn't do shit. And then when you did try to jam him up, he threw up the work excuse. And instead of you just saying okay and just clicking off and leaving him alone when he took time to text back, because as far as he was concerned, the conversation was ended. He said he had to work and that was it. That's the goodbye chick. But you didn't take the hint, and then you're going to hit him with something else and start getting all in your feelings. Oh, I don't have the energy for mixed signals. Where did that come from? And that's where he knew that you were a nut, and that's why he left you alone. So, your question to number one, no, there's no salvaging this. There's nothing to salvage. And number two, you want to spend time with them, you're not going to do that. Okay? So those are the answer to your two questions. Question number 6, this is a male in the 21 to 25 age group from Tacoma, Washington. My sister has serious anger issues and lashes out at her boyfriend over the simplest things. I play board and video games with the two of them, just us three, at their place pretty frequently, and she gets pissed when she loses. She accuses him of cheating, making the wrong move, and all of that. She doesn't yell, but she speaks in a very aggressive and accusatory tone, and it makes me feel uncomfortable to be in the same room. Her boyfriend is very kind, gentle, and patient guy, whereas my sister is very hot-headed and impatient. There's sometimes tension when I'm in the car with them too. Like one time she got road rage as a passenger and got mad at her boyfriend for not using his horn and letting other drivers pass them. Hmm. Note, she gets angry at me when playing games as well, but I do not tolerate it. Like I will argue back and call her out. In the moment, I usually say stuff like, chillax, it's just a game. Why are you so mad? It annoys me to have to experience her anger issues, and I cannot imagine what her boyfriend has to deal with on a daily basis since they live together. Usually, her boyfriend will explain his stance in a calm manner and stay silent to not provoke her. I am worried that this can ruin their relationship in the long run. Okay, then he goes on. Okay, then let's cut all that out. My sister's boyfriend is going to propose within the next year, and he wants me to help him figure out what kind of engagement ring to get her. They have talked about getting married, so it won't be a total surprise. Obviously, I want my sister to be happy, and her boyfriend is a great guy, but I'm not sure they're ready for it because of her anger issues. However, I don't know if it's even in my place to judge or offer advice since these are just my observations. So I don't really know what to do. Do I just show support for them and help him with the ring, assuming they both know what they're getting into? I don't want to ask him, hey, are you sure you want to get married to my sister? LOL. What do you and the ladies think? Hmm. I can tell you what I think. This boyfriend is crazy. He's got some kind of masochistic tendencies or something. Some guys really like drama women and a whole bunch of shit stirred up all the time and stuff like that. It just these, especially these like real calm, boring types, they just like it because it gets their blood boiling to see somebody, get mad and cuss at them and throw shit and break things and all that kind of stuff. They love it. They can't get enough of it. If they break up with that woman, breaks up with them or whatever, they just long for her. And because it's the drama that they really long for. So in a situation like this, if you don't feel comfortable helping him choose a ring, then don't do it. Just tell him, dude, let me think, what can you say? You can say, I think that's kind of a personal thing that, you should pick it for her, just you. And, I don't think this really in my place to participate in anything like that. And just dip out. So if he wants to make a fool of himself, he'll be making a fool of himself from start to finish, all by himself. You won't have no part in it. Because then otherwise he's going to be like, well, you went with me to help me pick the ring, and you didn't tell me that, that I shouldn't have done it or something like that. I wouldn't want to be bothered. But why he puts up with her, I don't know. Even if as a woman, if I had a female friend and acting like that, I would be, we would no, I'd be cussing her ass out and telling her all about herself. Yeah, boring men love drama because they're boring. They don't have shit else happening. So their woman, brings all the heat and fire when she's all crazy acting like that. So let's move on. Question 7. This is a female in the 30 to 35 age group from Boise, Idaho. It would be easy to have a mother in law to be who makes it clear that she doesn't like you, but I have a cunning one who pretends to be sweet while poisoning my fiance's mind. There have always been reasons for her not to invite us over, and then COVID hit. That was a perfect excuse for her. Now, after a death in the family a few months ago, we have been by her side, but now she's starting to create problems again and subtly influencing him again in our relationship. She's also relying on my fiance to help her financially, and he's contributing some of his pay. But after our living expenses that we both contribute towards, it doesn't give us anything to save towards the wedding. I'm starting to feel like this mama's boy will continue to seek her approval. She makes him feel like she does him a favor if she was to see him for other minor things that he does. She does, rather. I've been nothing but kind, yet recently I have good reason to not need to visit again. I don't feel the need to be nice to someone who hasn't got the same intention towards me. She used to control her husband, and now she wants to control her son's life too. Do you have any tips on how to make a relationship work with an in law or how to create distance? If I have children, which I plan to, no doubt she wants to have a big say on everything. I need to fix this right now. This is how you fix this. This is how you fix it. You go upstairs to his house, right? Because I don't know if you guys are living together. You didn't say that. You go to his house, and usually people have a drawer. They have something in there. Okay, then you put all your shit in a hefty bag, and you get your toothbrush and your extra makeup and all the stuff that you have at dude's house in the refrigerator, everything, and you put it in your hefty bags, and then you chuck up the deuces. You go like this right here. You do this, and then you say bye, baby. Mama's boy, baby. And then you get in your car and you drive off into the sunset. That's what you do. You're not going to win this. This is a waste of your time. This guy is a mama's boy. And, I mean, I know, people like to help their parents financially and do this and that. But if it's to the point where he's sacrificing to where he's not going to be able to meet his goals because he's helping her, she's a widow. So she should have got her husband's Social Security. Plus, if she's retired, she's getting hers as well. So she's not hurting for money. So why is he and did she was there a life insurance policy? I'm sure there was if they've been married a long time. So why in the world is he giving her anything? Right? She, it sounds to me, is doing that because she knows it's going to keep the wedding from happening. Right? Playing the sob story. And he's so weak, he's going along with it. So this is what you are seeing now is an example of how your relationship, your marriage will be forevermore in the future until that woman dies. So if that's not what you want, see, for me, like if you already know this is what it is. It's not like you already married to him and then suddenly she switched up and like in Red Riding Hood, the grandma costume comes off and it's really the wolf underneath. She didn't do that. She's showing you the wolf right now, and you see it. You writing about it. So I have to ask you, with all of these red flags waving about this man and his relationship with his mother, why would you choose this man to marry? Why would you think that this is going to be a healthy, sane situation for you to be involved in? There's nothing about this woman and her son that makes sense because he doesn't even have the courage to stand up to her and say, "No, Mama, stop. I'm not tolerating this. You need to check yourself." He's not. You can tell your mother stuff in a respectful way. You don't have to cuss her out, but he's not even doing that. And so, and you trying to talk about you're not going to be talking to her and going over there and stuff. How you think that's going to work in a marriage? So all in all, I'm not really seeing where this makes any sense. I mean, unless you told me something that's important here that you didn't write, this makes no sense. And this is not something that you get into thinking that a marriage is getting married is going to change it or save it. All you're going to do is be miserable, like I said, until the day that this woman dies. She might live another 30 or 40 years. You just don't know. And then in the meantime, you would have sacrificed your youth, beauty, and fertility and sanity to be in a situation with this man like he's the only motherfucker on the world that in the world that you can marry. I just don't get it. It's like one bad choice after another with these letters. Ooh, let's move on to question number 8. This is a female in the 21 to 25 age group from Austin, Texas. Long story short, I messed up and got the dates wrong for my boyfriend's sister's 21st birthday and my best friend's 21st birthday. My partner and I are in our mid 20s and been together for 5 years, and I've lived with his parents for most of it as we save for a house. I knew about my partner's sister's birthday plans for over a year, but I still messed up the dates. I'm unable to physically go to both, and now my best friend doesn't want to be my friend anymore because I said no one is more important than the other. What is the right choice here? You fucked up big time. And how could you mess up the dates when you have calendaring apparatuses, apps on your phone? You have a calendar on your computer, laptop, desktop, watch, smartwatch. I mean, there's so many opportunities for this to have been fixed and entered correctly. I'm not understanding how you messed up and got the dates wrong. It sounds like some bullshit to me. But I'm going to tell you this, you're not married to this dude yet. Okay, so that's not your sister-in-law. That's not, she's your boyfriend's sister. But that's his family. That's not your friend. You were not supposed to ever insult your friendship and your best, what you call your best friend by saying no one is more important than the other. I would have dumped your ass. I would have cussed you out telling me some shit like that. It's supposed to be my best friend? Best. You didn't say just a friend or an acquaintance. You said best friend. You don't do your best friends like that. You tell your boyfriend, sister, I am so sorry. I messed up the dates, but this is my best friend. I need to be there for her. We've been friends for 13 years, whatever it is, and I need to be there. I'm sorry, but I'll give you a present afterwards, before the party or after party, whatever you want to do. Or we go to lunch the next day or the earlier in the day, whatever you want to do. There's ways you could have handled this to still make the sister feel okay about her relationship with you and be at your best friend's party. But you didn't do that, and you mouthed off and said some real disrespectful, stupid shit to your best friend. This is terrible. That was the right choice. Even though I don't know when the party is, you didn't say, but you may still be able to fix it. So you call your friend back and you beg. And you tell her that you were stupid, you made a mistake. Of course, you're gonna be there, all kind of stuff. And then you set up a lunch date with the sister on her birthday, give her a little present, and then you go to the house, shower, change, and get your ass over to your friend's house or wherever she's gonna have a party, and that's what you do. Okay? I physically unable to go to both. You so full of shit. You know what? What a woman a woman needs her friends. You cannot have everything tied up in your man's friends and your man's family. That's the mistake that I see that you're headed towards making. You're putting these people before your friends. Friends that mean a lot to you. You're gonna fuck it up, and then by the time you try to have a wedding, you're not gonna have no friends to be your bridesmaids. Because you would have ruined all the relationships kissing up to your boyfriend and his family. He's just a boyfriend. He ain't your husband. You need to get it straight. Oh, Lord have mercy. Question number 9. This is a female in the 26 to 29 age group from a place called Telford in the UK. Hello, Deb, and thank you, Candace, for choosing my letter. I am really desperate right now, and I don't know what I'm feeling. I've been having an affair with a man who has a fiance and a kid and is diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder for almost 9 months. Okay, so for almost 9 months, your sentence structure is really bad. You've been in a relationship with a man who has a fiance, who's a diagnosed narcissist, and who has a kid. That's what you're telling me. I have already told his fiance of our affair 2 months ago, since I think that's the way to end it because I cannot end it just wanting to end it. I feel like I want him to hurt like I am. And last night when we were together, he told me so many bad things and called me awful names and told me that I'm just his mistress. And out of anger, I called his fiance and told her again. Earlier this morning, after everything that happened, I still said I'm sorry and asked for forgiveness from the both of them. I don't know why. And now I can't move. I'm in bed grieving, missing him. I don't know what to friggin' do. Please, I need some help. I'm so tempted to say something that I shouldn't say because I know who's going to flag my video. But y'all know what I'm thinking. You know what I'm thinking. Those of you who know me know what I'm thinking. But I'm not going to say it. I'm going to be good. But I'm going to say this, though. I'm going to say this. You're stupid. You hella stupid. I don't know if you guys know the term hella. That's a California phrase, and you're in Telford, UK. But that maybe you could make that, catch on over there. So when something is like magnified and just super magnificent and just way over the top, we use the term hella. So things are hella cool, it's hella fat, somebody's hella ugly, hella. That's a Bay Area term. We use that all the time. So I'm going to say you're hella stupid. This situation is hella stupid. This man is hella trifling. His fiance is hella desperate. And who knows what the deal is with the kid. But, all the adults in this situation are just stupid, crazy, all that. I'm just saying, no, no, Lee, I'm not going to because I got Uh, no, I'm gonna control my mouth. But I don't understand. And you know what's telling too? When people write and it shows, then they type the letter I talking about themselves and they use a lowercase I, that is usually indicative of some severe personality disorder and low self esteem. And all throughout this is the lowercase I. I don't know what I'm feeling, all lowercase I's. So, what we have here is someone who has a damaged sense of self, which is why she would gravitate towards a situation that's so problematic like this, and that makes her feel even worse about herself. So basically, her negative opinion of herself is being validated in this situation. It's like a never ending cycle. So I'm going to tell you, young lady, the best thing I can suggest is that if you have a job with some health insurance benefits, please look into some counseling because there's something, just the way your letter is written here is indicating that you have some deep rooted problems with self-esteem and self-confidence and your self-image. And until you fix that, you will continually be drawn to problematic, dysfunctional people and dysfunctional relationships that end up doing nothing but hurting you even more. Okay, so at this point, it sounds like he's gone on to his fiance. The best thing that you could do is close that door. You don't need to grieve and miss anybody who's some other woman's man. Why she still wants him, I can't answer that because she didn't write the letter. We're talking about you right now, but he wouldn't be anything I would want. So, but in the meantime, he's over there, and if I were you, that's what I would do. Because you have to remember you chose him. Out of all the men that you could have been with in Telford, UK, you chose this one. And you have to figure out why. Why is this so? This was the best, you felt like it was the best, smartest choice that you could make for someone to love. This is a very sad situation. Okay. No, beautiful orchid. I'm going to save my words because this girl, I'm telling you, just let her. Just I. She's got some problems. Okay, let's move on to question number 10. This is a female in the 21 to 25 age group from Christchurch, New Zealand. I'm a bridesmaid in my friend's wedding, but now I'm wondering if I should pull out. I'm 25 and I've never been to a bridal party, so I don't know what the norm is or what to expect. But there are three other girls in the bridal party who all seem to talk to one another and leave me out from most decisions. The bride is having an engagement party, and one of the girls decided to hire a professional decorator for $2,189. Wait, what? Wait, what? What's an engagement for a party for like a couple of hours? $2,200? She wants me to contribute to this, but I was never consulted first. I don't even make much money. All three of the other ones make more money than me. And I'm really good at decorating, so I feel like I could have put something together nicely if I just had been asked. Anyways, the engagement party is in the bride's parents' backyard. They are also decided on a champagne wall, catering service, a helium tank, and so on. That's a lot of money just for a party. I really don't want to pay for the professional decorator, but I don't know if that would create issues or if I'm wrong for being upset about it. What would you do for me? Oh, Deb, they would have said, "Oh, we got a direct decorator for $2,100," and Deb would have been like, "Well, what you telling me for?" And they would have been like, "Cause we want you to contribute." And I'm saying, "I'm sure not. I'm not doing that. You didn't ask me nothing about it. You're not gonna be spending my money for me. So is that supposed to be $2,100, $2,200 divided by four? All right." It's like what, $550? Just off the top of my head. I'm not doing that. I'm spending $500. I need to be able to drive that bitch. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So, be in a seat in a plane or something. I'm not spending $500 for a party that's gonna last 2 or 3 hours. I'm not doing that. You need to go to the groom and tap his wallet. That's what you need to do. That's what I would have said. And then if they didn't like it, then I'd say, well, fuck you and fuck this wedding and fuck this bridal party too. I'm out. You know, the F word, that's one of my favorite things to say to people when they start getting all crazy. So that would have been me. It's like, I'm not being in this fucked up wedding. Those bitches was tripping. And that's what I would have told them. So now I don't know how helpful that's going to be to you, but since you asked, what would you do if you were me? You asked me, what would I do if I were you? And I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's 500 and something, right? Because it's $2,200. I said 550. Is that right? Yeah. Oh, my math is still good. But yeah, that's $550 a person for the four bridesmaids. Nah, we ain't doing that. Because I would have had to tell girlfriend, I don't like you that much. I don't like you that much not to pay 550 maybe, not 550. I'm not doing that. Yeah, for a backyard party. I mean, and they're gonna have a champagne wall. Can you imagine? I don't know what the weather's like in Christchurch, New Zealand. Maybe somebody could look it up right quick. But I can just imagine it being warm and there being flies and mosquitoes, dipping in the champagne wall. So you putting your little cup up there, and then here come a fly doing the backstroke in your cup, and I'm sitting there looking. Okay, now you got to pour it out, and who's gonna be paying for all that champagne? And if caterers supply it, they add a surcharge to it. Nah, I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm not doing that. So anyway, that's my answer. You asked me what I would do. I'm telling you. You notice the flies be wanting to get drunk too, just like everybody else. Question number 11, female 30 to 35 from North York, Canada. I have a relative who is extremely needy. Hmm. She wants to be around people constantly, hanging out with them, and wants to talk to people on the phone constantly. She is like this with everyone, not just me. She has a boyfriend that she lives with and is constantly, so she is never alone. Wow, doesn't he work? Deb, I'm now 37 weeks pregnant and exhausted, so I want to be left alone to prepare for the birth. But this seems to have triggered her to have some sort of breakdown. She keeps trying to emotionally blackmail me into hanging out with her by saying her mental health depends on it. My family's saying I need to confront her if I want her to stop, but how do I go about it without being nasty? You don't worry about being nasty. Your first priority is your child that you're about to birth. And at 37 weeks, you could go into labor and have a baby at any day now. So, um, you know, that's something that you need to consider. So, what you have to do is either if you're going to do the passive aggressive thing, you just block her so she can't reach you. Or if you just want to do like your family says and confront her, then you say, look, stop fucking calling me. I'm about to have a baby. I don't have time for you and your bullshit. Okay, you go over there and bug whoever the fuck you want to bug, but don't bug me. Don't call my number anymore. I don't give a fuck about your mental health. I'm worried about my baby's health. Okay, you could go crazy and end up in a Napa on a bridge somewhere. I really don't give a fuck where you go, what you do when you get there. It's irrelevant to me. You're irrelevant to me. What I want to do is make sure my baby is healthy and happy when it's born and that I make it through this delivery in one piece. That's where my priorities are right now. While your bitch ass is sitting over there worrying about yourself. Get the fuck off my phone. Don't call me. If I want to talk to you, I'll call you. Now, you said you didn't want to be, what did you say? Nasty. There's no way around that. Okay? This is the time where you be as nasty as you can be. And she's gonna cry. I'm gonna start preparing you now. Be prepared. She's gonna cry and she's gonna whine to the rest of your family how that you were mean to her and stuff. And this is what you say to them. I don't care. If you want her to call you and bug the fuck out of you, then give her your number. But right now, I'm preparing for the birth of my baby within the next 2 or 3 weeks. I don't have time for this bullshit from her or you. Click and then block them all. Okay? That's all you have to do. We worry about these grown ass people. I don't know. I don't like it because I've had female friends that was like that. I wouldn't say they were like this where they wanted somebody around them all the time, but I'm a very kind of independent person. I mean, I'll get together with my friends here and there, talk on the phone. I'm not a big phone person either, and I hate texting. I don't know what's wrong with me. I like to have my friends be like over there somewhere. And I get together with them, every couple of months or something like that, but I don't need to be around a whole bunch of people all the time. That's not my things. All my activities and things I enjoy doing are solitary pursuits. And so I enjoy my own company the most out of anything. So someone like this, though, I've had, like I said, I had friends, well, women I met, let's put it that way, acquaintances that were trying to be friends, and they want to call you all the time, and they don't have shit to talk about, right? So I'm sitting here, you just sitting here holding the phone, and I'm thinking about all the 900 other things I could be doing with this time. I'm sitting there holding the phone, wondering why they called me. So then to the point where, you sit there and say, well, why did you call me? Oh, I just wanted to see how you were. Oh, fine. Okay, because I got to go. And then I hang up. And then it'd be like, well, you so short. I was like, but you wasn't talking about nothing. What did you call me for? Well, you never call me. That's because I don't want to talk to you. I don't have shit to say to you. When I have something to say, I'll call you. I'm not just going to be calling you just to be breathing on the phone. My little brother used to do that. It was so cute. When I first got married, he would call. And, he was just so used to so cute. And he would call, and then he would just be breathing on the phone. And I knew what that meant. He just wanted to hear my voice. So I would just, chatter on like a magpie about a whole bunch of nothing. And he would sit there and he would listen. So about, I don't know, 20 minutes of that. And, talking about stuff that happened at work or, something, I don't know, just bullshit. And then, or pictures I took and stuff. I was heavy into photography at that time. And then he would say, okay, bye. And then he would hang up. And that was at least twice a week. That would happen for about 6 to 8 months. And then he finally got used to me, you know, not being around. But yeah, it was so cute. But he was, young, but not like this is a grown man, grown woman. But yeah, he was, and that was like his first word was my name. He didn't say mama, dada. He said Dee, and that was me. So, that's my boy. Yeah, we were always real close. He's just so cute. Ah, memories. Okay, let's move on. Question number 12. Male, 25 to 29, from Santa Clara, California. There's a guy who shares the same position as me, but he's responsible for a different product. All day he goes to smoke, have fun with coworkers, eat outside every 30 to 40 minutes, and he goes to chill around. And at the end of the day, he stays late because he procrastinates a lot. And my all my coworkers and my team leader put pressure on me, like, why can't you help him out, etc. That guy is in a very good relationship with my manager and directors. I feel guilty because they all look at me like I'm some heartless asshole. Meanwhile, they all pity him but don't help him themselves. Like before going home, they say, "Should we help you?" They know in advance that they can't because they don't know because don't know their job. Only I can help him. So they look good and I'm in a bad light. What should I do? You should, when they ask you that, say, and stop, like you told me all this stuff, but that's not helping you. What you should do is say, I have observed, let's just say his name is Roger. I don't know why I like that name so much. I think it's from that show with, go home, Roger. I like that name, Roger, for somebody who's a pest. Okay, so, I've observed Roger during the day. He does this, he does that, he does this while I'm working. So at the end of the day, I'm finished with my work, and Roger, of course, since he's been socializing and having a good time all day, is not. Now, I find it interesting with that dynamic in play why you think that the person who has been responsible to do their work as assigned should stay and help someone who is irresponsible and shirking their duties. Why do you think that should be my responsibility? That's what I would say to him. Oh, sister said that's right. That was the name of it. Yeah, Santa Clara. That's all. That's tech jobs down there. You know how that is, Diana. You here in the Bay. You know what I'm talking about. So he's got to be a tech in a tech position in Santa Clara and a product. Yeah, he's working on some software or something. But that's what I would say to them. Now you're a young cat, you're the 25 to 29 age group, but that's all right. I mean, at some point, before you reach, severe maturity, you have to learn to speak up and say things. And you're going to say it in a way that doesn't throw him under the bus necessarily, but just what you've observed, right? You're not going to say, well, why do you let him get away? You're not going to take that approach. You're going to say, I've observed this and that. And they can't contradict you when you say that you've observed it. No, that's not true. I've seen it with my own two eyes, and so have all the people that he's been socializing with. So they can't, discount what your observations are. And then, so when you ask them that question, like, so why do you feel that since I've been doing what I'm supposed to be doing and my work is done on time, that I should sacrifice my free time to help someone who was playing around all day? Or however you want to phrase it, who wasn't diligent with their responsibilities. Let's put it that way. And see what they say. And I bet you after that they'll leave you the fuck alone and they'll start focusing more on Roger sitting his ass at his desk doing what he's supposed to be doing. Right? Without you having, you don't need to feel guilty. See, guilt does not exist in my vocabulary because everything that Deborah does because she wanted to do it. If I said some fucked up shit to you, I did said it because I wanted to say it. If I did something that tore you up and messed you over, it's because I wanted to do that. And if you sitting there crying and all destroyed because I did you like that, then I'm perfectly feeling wonderful because that means my goal has been reached. I've accomplished my goal. Mission, what they say, mission accomplished. So guilt to me is just a wasted emotion. You don't let people guilt trip you. You stand up for yourself. And I'm telling you, you better do it now before they try to figure out some kind of way to make that, his lack of action your fault. Let's move on to question number 13. This is a female in the 30 to 36 age group from Capitola, California. Dear Deb, thank you for all the work you do on your channel and your dedication to helping women improve their lives across the globe. Oh, thank you. I'm writing to get your advice on a problem that has arisen. Falls under the what would Deb do category. Oh, no. My teen son's godmother is of Asian Pacific descent, Asian Pacific Islander descent. I am African American. We've been best friends since we were little girls. We briefly lost contact for a few years when my son was in middle school, but now he's in his third year of high school. But I'm considering terminating without notice the currently established relationship between my son and his godmother. The reason is it involves the issue of racial bias. She claims that she doesn't see race as a factor in the situations that involve African American children. This attitude, oh, children, teens, men, and women. Wow. How could she not see that? It's all over the news. This attitude extends to other groups of color as well. She doesn't even believe that she can ever experience racism herself. She believes that for whatever reason, anything bad that happens to African Americans has nothing to do with race. For example, the George Floyd killing by that officer. She doesn't agree with the cop killing him, but believes race had nothing to do with it, despite the entire sad situation being captured on video. She says she doesn't see color, but remains in denial about the fact that other people in society do. She tries to negate the racial experiences that others have. Prior to reconnecting with her, I did not see any signs of such implicit bias in her attitude. Our conversations concerning issues of racial discrimination have gotten quite heated recently. I told her the violence against people who look like her are experiencing is the same racial prejudice and violence that African Americans have always experienced, and their group is being blamed for a global pandemic, yet they expect African Americans to join together and be their mouthpiece against it. I told her it's not going to happen. It's not our fight. This is someone who will side with the cops if my son is illegally stopped or searched while on foot or driving. This is not someone I want overseeing my son's life or his finances should something happen to me before my son becomes an adult. What is your opinion on people with such views? Have you ever experienced something similar where other ethnic minorities are in denial of racial prejudice and discrimination? If so, how did you handle it, and what does this type of attitude really say about people who hold these attitudes? Thank you for taking the time to address my letter, and I hope you are feeling better. Yes, I am, and this is really okay. Flat out, this is fucked up. Let me tell you what I told a couple of white folks that I worked with a couple of years ago. I forgot what was happening in the news. Something I forgot, some racial thing. And they, in this meeting that we were having, had the gall to say, I don't see color. And the only black person in the world, in the room rather, everybody turned and looked at me because they already knew that I was going to have something to say. They are, they were my coworkers at that time. They knew, right? So they all turned at the table and looked at me because I was sitting at the end, of the table, and my boss was sitting at the other end. So I kind of sat there and I thought, should I say something? Because you know how I am. I cannot hold my tongue. So I said, raised my hand and I said, I want to address that comment. So my boss, he puts his head down because he already knew whether he said acknowledge me or not, I was going to still talk. But he's like, okay, what do you have to say, Deb? I said, first of all, What people don't realize when they're of the minority of majority race, which is white in this country, and they say I don't see color, that it's itself is racist. The only way you could not see color is to deny the rainbow of ethnicities that are in the United States. You're denying that people have a culture that's different than yours. They eat food that's different than yours. They wear clothing that's different styles from yours. Their hair is different from yours. Their skin color, eye color, everything about them is different than white folks, but you want to whitewash them and say, I don't see color, as if they have no uniqueness. That's what you're saying when you say, I don't see color. You should have seen all the white folks. They started doing all this here because they was getting uncomfortable. See, I don't know how, they didn't say anything, but I don't know how many of them actually agreed with her or held that stance, but at least they had enough sense not to say it out loud like she did. And I said that when you saying that you don't see me, you don't see me. You telling me you don't see me. You see me as you want me to be, some white version of you. I'm a black woman. My hair is like this. My skin is like this. And my voice and everything, my body, everything is different from yours. Little skinny, flat butted, little fake boob chick. And I'm like, you have no right to ever say that. It's disgusting that you should say that. It's demeaning and it's fucking racist. And so they were like, oh, well, we never thought of it that way. Say, well, I'm telling you now, that's how you need to think about it. You acknowledge that this one over here is Latino and he's a brown skinned man and his family's from Bolivia. Because I talked to people, this person, and I went around the room talking about the other minorities. Because, like I said, I was the only black one in there. But there were other people from other parts of the world, Vietnamese, this and that. But, because she don't see color, then she's not going to acknowledge the fact that these people have a rich cultural heritage and a history that's different from the whitewashed American one. I was just too through with that bitch, and she didn't have to worry. I wasn't talking to her ass no more ever after that because I thought she was too ignorant. So my boss, later he calls me in and he thanked me for that, and he said, it was true, and he could understand where I was coming from, and that he would never use that phrase again. I'm like, yeah, you see the color of a car, you see the color a house is painted, and you see the color of somebody's skirt, dress, pants, what shoes, all that. You see them colors. How you gonna tell me that you don't see the color of somebody's skin? How you gonna say that? And then, by me breaking it down what that really meant, then they were like, oh. So, with your friend, back to this topic, with your friend there, you've been having these debates and all this stuff with this individual, but you're not going to do that anymore. You're just going to sum things right up and say, your attitude is going to be mentally and emotionally unhealthy for my African American son who's in a country with a history of racism, slavery, and the high incarceration rates and all the stuff that happens to African American men in this country. And you say, I don't feel that you would be a protector of him. I don't think that you have his best interest at heart. And so I'm going to sever this godparent, godson relationship effective today. And that's all you say because you are the mama. And then, start looking around for somebody else. I mean, you don't say how old he is, but I feel, you say before he becomes an adult. So I don't know, is that 2 years, 5 years? I mean, is he toddler? I mean, what? That part I don't know. But, you got to look around for someone else that you would want to assume that responsibility should something happen to you. And, but it's not definitely, I would definitely tell you not to do it with her because she's going to make him, her mentality is all kinds of fucked up. Don't do that. But yeah, this was a different letter. This was different. Thank you for writing that. So I got to share that story because that was a moment in time. I tell you, I'll still remember that. You tell me you don't see color, bitch. And they be steady trying to get a tan, right? So you certainly see the color when it's on you. But suddenly, all of a sudden, when you look at somebody who's got that color naturally, then suddenly you can't see color. Silly bitch. Let's move on. Question number 14, male 22 to 26 from Charleston, South Carolina. I posted this on a popular advice site, but I'm writing to you because I want to get your particular viewpoint. You have a lot of corporate work experience, and I know the political games. So before I mess up, this is my first job out of college. I thought I better ask for advice. Good job. I have this coworker, let's call him Jerry. I don't like him and I think he's a jerk. He's the entitled type that expects everyone else to pick up his slack. He's late often and just generally a pain in the ass, but he's a kiss up, so managers like him. Okay, another one just like the, what did I call the dude? Roger? Well, Sunday, my boss came up to me and said, "Hey, you drive, right?" I said, "Yeah." "Like you have your own car?" "Yeah." I thought he was going to have me run and get something because they do that sometimes. But then the boss said, "You and Jerry live close to each other. Would you mind giving him a ride to work tomorrow? His car broke down." I said, "No, I can't." Boss was like, "Oh, come on. It's on the way anyway." I said, "Nope, sorry." I was trying to think of an excuse, but I couldn't. Then he was like, "We're a team here. We help each other." I just went back to doing my work because I already said no twice. Good job. He finally sighed and walked away. Then yesterday, Jerry called in because he said he didn't have a ride. My boss made a passive aggressive comment like, quote, if somebody had decided to be nice and give him a ride, I just acted like I didn't hear him. Honestly, if it was anybody else, I probably would have just picked him up on my way to work, but Jerry has never been anything but a self centered pain in the ass since I've known him. I don't think I owe someone like that a favor on my help or anything else. Someone else that works here and knows the boss asked me to give Jerry a ride, said it was petty for me not to help him out for one day, and that boss thinks so too and just won't say it. I'm ready to ask you what kind of savage boundary setting statement can I make to these people? What you can do is this the person who go to that person who told you that it was petty and you say what? Does Jerry not know how to call Uber or Lyft? A taxi. Well, are you telling me that his only way to make it to work is in my car? That's what you're telling me. If you were so concerned about Jerry getting to work, why didn't you go pick him up then? See? Oh, well, I don't live close to him. Well, so that's irrelevant. You was concerned about what I do with my gas and my time. But see, when I'm not at work and I'm off the clock, what I do with my time, my money, my gas, and my car is not your concern. It's not my boss's concern. It's nobody's concern. We're the only place where we counsel us to be a team is when we're getting paid on the clock. Other than that, my life is my own, just like yours. And then I would walk away. But you got to remind them that there's options. There's Lyft, there's Uber, and there's taxi cabs, and there's buses. I mean, I don't know where you guys were, but there's all kind of options for Jerry to have gotten to work. He could have called a friend. Don't he have some friends? Jerry didn't come to work because he's trying to throw you under the bus. So you need to make sure you go into your boss and you say what I just told you. Okay? So it's like, why are you trying to make me responsible? That's codependency. Trying to make me responsible for a grown man. Jerry knew he was putting his car was going to be in the shop and repaired. Why didn't Jerry make alternative arrangements so Jerry could get to work? Why are you trying to make that my fault? It's not my responsibility to take care of Jerry. Jerry's a grown man. And then I would walk out of my office. Walk out of the boss's office. Now, you asking how I would handle it? That's what Deb would do. But actually, I would have done that as soon as he said, we're a team here. We help each other. Say, yeah, when we're on the clock, we are a team. When I'm on my personal time, I'm not responsible for anybody in this office, neither are you. Now, if you want to do that, that's fine. You can do that. But I opt not to. And it's my time, my gas, and my money. Nobody tells me what to do when I'm not working here. And then the boss would have went away with a sigh and checked. Because it's true. He can't be trying to charge you with no crime and some shit that you're not responsible for when you're not getting paid. Is he going to pay you overtime? If he's going to pay you overtime chauffeur fees, well, then we might have another conversation. But you're not going to pay me. You told me to do it on my time and use up my gas for that motherfucker? No. It may have been a test, but who gives a fuck? See, because this is me. My thing is, and I've always had to make this very clear with my employers. Because, there are some, they want you to come. This one job I worked, they wanted us, this was when I was really young, they wanted us to work overtime. And then they want to say, well, we're not going to pay you. Now, me, because I used to do books with my mother for my uncle's trucking business, we had to have one of those state of California employment labor law posters up, and they require that. In any job, any business where there is employees, the state of California requires that. So I politely call up the state and have them send me that poster. And then I put the poster in the lunchroom, right? And so everybody's looking at it saying, oh, and I say, yeah, see that part right there where it says if you work more than 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, you're supposed to get time and a half? And they were like, oh. And so I said, y'all need to file a claim for all the overtime that you worked that you didn't get paid for. And some of them did. And then after that, the company got big fines, and they had to start paying overtime. And I instigated all that shit with my little 20-year-old instigator troublemaker ass. But I don't give a fuck. You doing some shit that's wrong, and you trying to get me in the cross and make it seem like I'm doing something wrong because I'm not cowtown and bending down to do some illegal shit to save you. Some multi-million-dollar company. What I'm gonna look like working free for you? Fuck you. And so, in a situation like this, it's the same kind of thing. They want you to use your time and energy to help them at the company. No, you need to pay me. If I'm picking up your employees to drive them around and stuff, that means I'm on the clock. You need to cover that. You need to give me some money. Yeah. I'm telling you, Diana, and these people were standing there. They're like, "Are you going to stay overtime?" I said, "Well, do we get, how much I get paid?" And they're like, "Oh, we don't pay overtime." I'm like, "Then I'm not working." And I'm like, I was like 19, 20 years old. And I got up and walked the fuck out. And they were just all staring at me. All white people. Again, that's another company where I was the only black one. And I was looking at them like they was crazy. And I said, "That's all right. I know how to fix these folks. They're not going to be doing this shit to nobody else." And that's what I did. Oh, no, I don't mind working for people as long as I get to do what I want to do. As soon as they start trying to regulate on me, well, then we have a problem. I don't know. That's why I like working contract. You get to charge exorbitant rates, and then you come and go as you please. It's like, well, I've done enough work today. I'm leaving. You're like, "Oh, but we don't leave until what's it called?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm not an employee, so I leave when I want to." See, I just love that. I love it. And so I don't know. Contract work is the bomb. So anyway, let's move on. Question number 15, female, 26 to 29 from London. I live with my boyfriend. We're both in our late 20s. What is all these girls living with these men? Rents here are really expensive. So when we got serious, we decided to move into my tiny one-bedroom kitchen apartment, and we happily live here since about 5 years now. The problem is my boyfriend is a foreigner, and his family lives about 4,000 kilometers away from us. I don't know how that translates to miles. The problem is his mother wants to visit us all the time. She has been here twice, and twice it was a pain in my ass because she decided it would be a waste of money for her to book a hotel, and she slept with us in the bedroom for almost a week. What? His mother? We had no privacy at all, and it was pure hell because I have been working table in the kitchen a bit hidden, and our bed is in the other room behind a corner, so the light does not bother my boyfriend. But like this, it shines directly to the sofa where she was sleeping. That created a problem because I tend to study and work late into the night, and she's going to sleep soon, like at 9 p.m., and expect silence and darkness so she can sleep. In Europe, the restrictions are being lifted now, and she wants to come here again after my boyfriend goes to visit them. She wants to fly back with him. I said okay, but she has to take a hotel because I don't want her here for the whole week. Also, we don't get along very well. She told me I'm the reason her son is depressed and plenty of other stuff that hurt me. So I'm not very keen to have her here. I told my boyfriend he got upset that I don't want to accommodate his mother and that said I'm being unreasonable. But what can he do when it's my flat? I told him it's not about me liking his mother, even though that's part of it, but mainly because our flat is too small for 3 people. Now he told her, and she sent me a nasty message how I'm a jerk, and they are both mad at me. What should I do? Tell him too fucking bad. See, my thing is this: what I would tell my boyfriend, this is my house. I dictate everything that goes up on it, up in here. You moved in with me, remember? This is my shit, and I decide who's gonna be up in here. And I let the bitch stay here twice. Okay, that was enough. Three strikes you out. And if she come here the third time and it was acting stupid, trying to regulate on when I work and all this other stuff, then you could go with her. Both of y'all can leave. That's your two options. Either she stays in the hotel and visits with you, and you gonna visit her in the hotel and go sightseeing or whatever the hell y'all gonna do. I'm not leave me out of it. Or you can pack your shit and then instead of her you going there for a visit, you go and you move back with your mama. How about that? Cause see, this is me. It's like I might love girl. I'm telling you, it's hefty bag time. See, Button already know. It's already Button. It's already hefty time. Do you have hefty bags in London? Whatever they call it, it's just going. That's what you need to put your shit in and get the fuck out. That's like get the fuck out is one of my favorite things to say to men. Get the fuck out. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to be bothered. And I was, you saying that they both mad at me now and sending you a nasty message. You send her one back. And you say, my house has 3 people there. Do you know I couldn't even fuck your son because your ass was up in here? We didn't have no sex life the whole week you were here. I'm not doing that. I'm not going dickless another week because you want to visit. Say some shit like that to her so she can get a real understanding. Okay? And just be just as crude with it as you can. And your boyfriend is gonna be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you said that to her." And but she's gonna, but see, as a woman, then she'll understand what you mean. You in the bedroom, I can't fuck with you here. You just in the way, so you're not coming. Okay? I'm trying to tell you. They probably don't have Julio moving service. Keith, she in London. But that's what I would tell her. She gonna send me some fucked up text. I'm gonna send her that something just back, just like that, just as crude and nasty, vulgar as I can think of. Bitch, when your ass is here, I can't get no dick. So that means you can't come, not no more. Because if you come here, then that means I'm not coming there, right? And this is my house. And it's my sex life and my boyfriend. Well, I think that 3 that rules you out. So you stay over there somewhere in a hotel or whatever. I'm just saying. You want to know what I would tell her? That's exactly what I would have told her. And it would, this kind of stuff just pops into my head. As soon as I saw her sending me some nasty message, that's what I would have fired back with her. So I hope I make myself clear, bitch. Okay? You can't be here. I can't run around naked and I can't get no dick. That's 2 problems that will be solved by you not being here. Now, question number 16. Male in the 22 to 26 age group from Concord, California. I'm a 23-year-old guy, and there's a woman roughly the same age as me that is always on the same BART trains as me in the morning. Same line, same transfer to the Fremont train, and we get off at the same stop and even walk in the same direction for about 4 blocks. Oh, wow. Obviously, I felt weirded out for her because the first few days I walked behind her for 4 blocks after getting off the same stop. Even I felt like I was following her. The next day, I made sure that I was in front of her off the train to show that I wasn't following her, but that my job is just in the same direction. Now we tend to just randomly lead each other on this daily commute. Any advice on how I could make her feel the most comfortable and not weirded out? I'm not sure if just introducing myself would make it weirder, or if I should just give her space. I obviously can't really change my commute to work. Uh, I would say this: if you've already demonstrated by getting off and walking ahead, so she could see you're not following her, right? Okay, she's an intelligent person. I'm sure she figured that out. It's just a coincidence. But see, my thing is this: are you single? Because let me tell you, if I was a dude, and you don't say what she looks like or anything, but if she was cute and I was single, I'd be hollering. I'd be like, "Hey, why do I see you everywhere I go in the morning? What's up with that? Are you stalking me?" I would make some kind of joke about it. So she'd be like, "No, no, we just happen to get off in the same trains and go to the same place." It's like, "Oh, well, what's your name? My name is so and so." I mean, I'm not, we could just say hi. I mean, it's just kind of weird to see the same person over and 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 never say anything to them. I don't want you to think I'm some kind of antisocial weirdo. So just let me introduce myself and, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so then you just be chill, and then you never know. I mean, she might get on the train and start striking up a conversation. But, that's how you do it. So that way, it alleviates all this weirdness and angst that you have. Although I have to say, I want to backtrack a little bit, that I appreciate your awareness because a lot of guys are just totally clueless and don't even pick up on stuff like that. So you get big points for that, being concerned about how she might be feeling threatened or afraid or something like that. I appreciate a man who thinks about things like that. But I'm just saying, now that that's established, you lead sometimes, she leads sometimes, then, at some point, if you guys are on the same train or it seems like it's, convenient on the escalator or whatever, then you can bring up what I said and just like, I see you all the time. I think you're stalking me. Are you stalking me? And so, make a joke about it or something. But it might be, an interesting thing. You just never know. And she might be single and you might be single. And this might be one of those fateful things that, you guys can talk about on your 50th anniversary, how you met. Right? So think about that. Question number 17. This is a female in the 26 to 29 age group from Denver, Colorado. I'm 29, my boyfriend's 27, and we've been together for 2 years. Last night, he rolled over almost completely on top of me, and I was struggling to get him to roll back and give me some room. Well, in his sleep, he went crazy. He hit and kicked my back multiple times. What? I can't tell if it's bruised or anything, but it sure doesn't feel good. I've never had a man hit me like that before. He says he doesn't remember doing it, but he also hasn't apologized. I'm a bit confused and at a loss. It makes me really uneasy about him now. And every time I sit or stand and my back hurts, it just reminds me of my boyfriend hitting me. Does it count, though, if he was asleep? That motherfucker wasn't asleep. Don't believe that for a minute. You know what? Like if someone flings a limb, right? That's one hit. They tossing around in their sleep. They might kick you one time. But for you saying, he hit and kicked my back multiple times, that was intentional. He's trying to pass it off as it being um, that he was asleep. But the fact that even when people do it accidentally, they apologize, and the dudes are like, "Oh my God, I can't believe," they're just concerned and worried, and they're like pitching around, apologizing. The fact that he hasn't apologized, he did it on purpose. Now, what does that mean for you? That means you need to exit this relationship because this, I remember a case. I like to watch these crime shows where this guy killed his girlfriend or wife, somebody. But anyway, he tried to was doing this kind of stuff, so he quote established that he was doing all this violent stuff in his sleep. And so then when he killed her, he was like, "Oh well, it was I was choking her." He choked her to death, and it's allegedly while he was asleep. But he killed her. He was a murderer. So as soon as I'm reading this, I flash back to that scenario, and this would not work for me. I tell you what I did. I had exactly. I'm Tansy. See me and Tansy. I had a boyfriend who he was sleeping and you know how men like to sleep on their back with their arms all. And so he flung his arm right and it caught me in the jaw like here and without missing a beat. See, this is what's good about having three brothers. I took my fist and I flung it like that and I fucked his eye up. He was laying on his back, right? This is part of my fist connected with his eye right here. I fucked him up. And he sat straight up in the bed and he was like, "My eye, my eye." I'm like, "Yeah, 'cause you hit me in the jaw and I fucked you up back." And he was like, "But it was an accident. I don't give a fuck if it was. I don't care if it was an accident. I'm still hurt, motherfucker. And so now are you." And guess what? We didn't have no more problems like that. He slept on his side and he was very conscious of, when he's sleeping, because that was his preferred sleeping thing. But he would wake himself up and tuck his arms under the covers and do all kind of shit to keep from doing that. Because the next time I was going to like sit on his chest and commence to pummeling him, like boop, 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 as hard as I could and as fast as I could. I don't play that. You're not gonna hurt me, whether it's intentional or accidental. It's not gonna happen. And if it does, you're gonna get, some retribution. So I don't believe this for a minute. I'm going to tell you, Miss in Denver, Colorado, that your relationship is headed down a dark and dangerous path. You really need to rethink this relationship. I'm telling you. That was that's that thing because this is this is exactly how the guy set the situation up. He set it up like he was doing all this violent stuff towards her, and he was asleep, so that doesn't count. Is that a South American Olympian who did the same thing? Well, see, these was white folks, and they was here in the U.S. So I don't know. I don't think it's the same thing. But see, that's what I'm saying. There's like a history. This is a pattern where guys have using this as an excuse for why they murdered somebody, and I'm not down for it. So, you think about this, really consider it, and look on the internet and look at, man claims murdered girlfriend or slash wife in sleep and see how many cases come up. And you'll see there's some bullshit and all these women are dead. Okay. Let's move on. Question number 18. This is a young lady in the 18 to 21 age group right here in Oakland, California. I had no one to ask, but I'm very open with my dad. We've been best friends since I was little. But since around middle school, I noticed that he talked about my friends in a wrong way. He would make comments like, if they were only older, or girls like that are the reason why guys get trapped. She looks too old to be in middle school. And he said that's to you, his daughter? I'm 20, gonna be 21 now, and I have my own son. I didn't really notice a problem with anything until I became a mom myself. Once it opened my eyes, I realized every single phone conversation I have with my dad, he's making sexual comments about women. Your dad, something's wrong with him. He does DoorDash full time, so he comes in contact with lots of people. And every time it's a female between 16 to 21 ish, so around your age, he always comments like, "Woo wee, look at that. Man, I tell you." Or "here comes my little girlfriend," and proceeds to talk to them, and I can hear and feel the uncomfortableness in the woman's tone. For example, he would say to a girl who comes up to bring his food out, "Hey, sweetie, you told me you were working a double yesterday. You lied to me. I came back just for you." Or, "I haven't seen you in a long time. You're supposed to be my little buddy." Keep in mind, Deb, he is 53, and these women are either still in high school or fresh out. He still talks about my middle school friends and swear they had crushes on him. He walked in on me and my friend changing when I was in like seventh grade. I was in the closet, but she wasn't, so he saw her top off and still talks about it to this day, commenting on how big her boobs were, etc. So my question is, what can I do about this? He's been my best friend for as long as I can remember, and before any of you ask me why I haven't spoken up, in my family, you just don't do that. I'm very uncomfortable and want to slowly back off or set boundaries without my family hating me. You don't worry about your family hating you. See, this is the kind of thing that, what happens in our family stays in our family. You lucky he didn't do this shit to you, and you would have been all quiet talking about what, our family, we don't do that. Break the pattern, because that's a very unhealthy dynamic for him to be doing this. He's a predator. Okay, your father is a predator for young girls, huh? And he's delivering for DoorDash? And this is how he talks to the customers. Let me tell you, if that had been me, and some dude came to deliver me my food and said some shit like that, soon as he left, I would have got on there at the website and complained. I've complained about drivers before when I used to order DoorDash. And this girl came and like okay, here I am. This was earlier, in the year when I was still on crutches, right? I'm on crutches, so I'm having I can't get to the store and get groceries and stuff. I got this boot on my foot and I'm on crutches, so I ordered some DoorDash. This bitch is gonna leave. She's in her car on the street, right? And she calls me on the phone and she tells me to come down and get the food. I said, "I'm on crutches. Bring it to the door. That's what you're supposed to do." And she says, "Well, something, something." I said, "Then take it back. I'll write to the company and because I can't, I'm not going to go down 2 flights of stairs and then try to figure out how to carry a bag of food back up the stairs, plus my crutches and myself. That defeats the whole purpose of me ordering DoorDash." Honey, I lit her ass up when went on the website. I said, "I want a credit, and not only a credit for what I paid, I want a credit for a future meal based on this disgusting treatment that I just had to endure. I'm sitting up here on crutches. I'm hungry, and this is how I got treated by your driver. This is the best that you can do for the staff that you hired." I lit that bitch up, and I said all kind of stuff about her. So I don't know. Um, well, she was female. This was a girl, and she didn't want to get out the car. She wanted me to come down on crutches to her car on the street. So I'm gonna be crutching down 2 flights of stairs through the parking lot and then to the curb to get the food. I mean, if doing all that, I could have just drove to the grocery store, right? Like this bitch. Yeah, it was messed up. I'm telling you, it was so messed up. Because I had to call one of my friends, so she came and brought me some food. But I was like, but your father is in violation of the policies of DoorDash. Your father is a freak and a pervert, and I'm not understanding how you haven't spoken up and told him that his conversation is inappropriate, is predatory, and is disgusting and is nasty, and you don't want to hear it. You have every right to say that. Whether you want to tell everybody else in your family or not, you need to set boundaries with him. And you're not doing it. You just letting him tell you all this stuff like you one of his bros. You're his daughter. And the thing that's bothered me the most is you are the same age as these people that he's doing this to. And when he busted into your room that time, knowing you have a friend over there, why was he coming into your room without knocking? What was he doing? And why were you so into changing in your closet? That means you knew some shit was happening. That's why you was in the closet. So I'm not, reading between the lines. You know that your father is a freak. And your father was looking at you inappropriately and thinking inappropriate thoughts. You happened to be in his closet on this particular incident, but your friend wasn't, and so he saw her boobs. A 14-year-old girl. I'm not understanding why you haven't approached your mother about this. Why you didn't tell your mother about that when that happened? He had no business coming in your room. So, this is I'm glad you have a son instead of a daughter, because if you had a daughter, I would be terrified for her safety, because you're something wrong with your daddy. You might not want to hear this. Take that question mark out. Just be real. Put that an exclamation mark, because this is a definitive statement. It is not a question. Is the grooming is already had. She's an adult now. It's too late. But all that stuff, that happening when she was, in middle school and stuff, that's when girls start getting, their bodies start changing, right? 13, 14 years old. And so that's when he started with this stuff. And he's been doing it ever since. So that's what I would tell you. And I'm telling you, you need to break that chain, that cycle of silence about it. And you need to call your father out. And so if that's the way that your family is, that means other men in your family could also be getting away with doing that kind of stuff, and worse to the female children. And all y'all just sitting there being quiet about it, covering it up, protecting them. You need to be singing like a fucking canary and telling the police if they do something that's foul, instead of being quiet and writing me. You need to be focused on protecting the kids of your family from men like this, and not condoning silence and cover-ups. This is just scandalous, and so are you for not doing something about this. Question number 19, female, 50 to 55, from the Gold Coast of Australia. I'm just looking for opinions on the following. If you or your listeners think I'm being uptight and overreacting, please just say so. I've been with my current partner for 7 months. He's 47, I'm 51. It's been a complete whirlwind romance. He's a wonderful man, kind, caring, generous, loving in every way. He looks after me very well and is 99% the man of my dreams. But there's that 1% that's bugging me. You see, he has this habit every now and again of saying things that I find insulting and disrespectful. Let me first say that this is a man who jokes around a lot and likes to banter with me and others, and he gets away with saying a lot of things to me by saying them in a, quote, jokey manner. It started with him telling me that when he hit puberty, he used to wank, his word, not mine, over the underwear pages in his mother's mail outer catalog, making comments about the pages sticking together, etc. I've had similar button pushing behavior from a partner in the past, but I chose not to react to this silliness, as I know complaining about it can lead to me being made to feel like I'm reacting in an insecure, jealous way about something that was way in the past. Oh, God. Why are women so fucking weak? This drives me crazy. No boundaries whatsoever. No fucking spine. No mouth. No nothing. You just let men talk to you and treat you any old kind of way and make excuses for it. This shit drives me crazy. This is the worst part of being an advice columnist. The fact that you feel disgust for a lot of the women that write to you, because they just don't do shit to put men in check and back them up off of them. They don't do nothing. This is the shit that drives me fucking crazy. Okay, he has made a few similar immature comments over the months, and then today we were talking about a girl I knew at school who had a relationship with a teacher. I was saying how inappropriate it was, and I didn't realize how bad it was at the time because I was only a kid myself. I thought we were having a serious conversation. Then he came out with, well, I was always wanking over one teacher or another when I was at school. It made me feel a little sick inside. I don't just see a productive reason for making this kind of comment. I often think men say these things to get a reaction from women. What do you think? Am I overreacting? Is this kind of talk acceptable in a relationship? Should I start telling him stories about who I wanked over when I was a teenager? Just as a footnote, another little thing that irritates me is that he knows I'm very sensitive about my menopausal thinning hair, but he constantly comments on other women's hair in the street, on the TV, his daughter's friends, constantly saying how gorgeous other women's hair is. I know I sound super sensitive, and maybe I am, but I can't help wondering if he's doing it on purpose to make me feel even worse about my thinning locks. As I said at the start of this letter, this man has been amazing in so many other ways. I don't want to break up or anything. I just like your advice on how to deal with his crude talk and your opinions on why he behaves this way. He behaves this way because he's a fucking animal jerk. And you want how to deal with it. You don't deal with this. See, this is what I'm talking about. This man is totally disrespecting you. I don't care how well you feel he treats you in other ways. You say that's 99%, but this 1% is all this stuff. But see, what this 1% to me overwhelms all the other stuff. When I can't trust that you are attacking me on the under. You doing some passive aggressive shit to try to break me down and hurt me and make me feel small and ugly and all this kind of stuff by your behavior and the stuff that you say to me. And then he's going to be making all these crude, perverse comments and talking about some little girl who was in a situation where she was being victimized by an adult male teacher. And all he could think about is his dick. That's the best he could come up with. And you think this is a good relationship and a good man to be in love with and to have in your life. This is a fucking beast. He's a jerk of immense proportions. He's a cretin. He's disgusting. He's a disgrace. He's all kind of stuff. He just keeps you there because he does enough nice stuff for you to be your judgment to be clouded by that. But you are dealing with a fucking asshole. That's what you're dealing with. How you gonna let some man tell you some stuff like that and talk to you like that? It's something that you know is your vulnerable soft spot, your underbelly. And that's when he decides to kick you over and over and over and over. And you just stay there and take it. You don't have no boundaries at all. No kind of sense of respect for yourself. No, nothing. You just sit there and say, this is a good relationship. You's tripping. There's nothing about this man that's good. He's breaking you down. You're gonna stay in this situation like this, and you're gonna be a shell of yourself in another couple of months because he's gonna find your next area of vulnerability and weakness, and he's gonna jump on that too. And so he's gonna give you the good 1, 2 uppercut, all this stuff to your ego, your sense of self, your confidence, your self-esteem. He's attacking it because it makes him feel good. Now, see, you not like me. You don't know that this is black people. Okay, because I'm telling you, a good 80% of this is on the Gold Coast of Australia. Chances are she's not black. Okay, so we don't need to make all this reference to African Americans unless they say that they're African Americans. I wish you guys would stop doing that because that's not the market anymore for this channel on the advice column anyway. Now I don't know about who comes to the channel, but even that, I mean, looking at the comments under the videos, it's just a very mixed crowd now. So I don't want you guys to assume that a letter writer is black. Don't do that. Okay? Don't make any comments that allude to that because it's not true unless they say it. Now, like I said, Candace takes, a lot of them will say, identify themselves. I'm Asian, I'm white, I'm Latino, I'm from here, I'm from there, and stuff. I mean, if they say what country they're from, then we already know. But, unless they identify their race or makeup, I'm African, I'm this, I'm Portuguese, then, we know. But we tend to take those out because we don't want people to be biased by, the person's ethnicity. But unless it's relevant, like it's an interracial relationship or something, then we leave it in. But other than that, I've given her strict instructions to remove that. So you don't know what race these people are, but I'm betting, since this is from the Gold Coast of Australia, that she ain't black. Okay. So this situation here, um, lady, you need to find your voice and you need to cuss him the fuck out. Next time he starts trying to talk about your hair, say shut up. Use your saggy ass balls, your rotund belly, over the fucker. The next thing you're gonna be talking about is andropause, and guess what? Your hair is gonna thin too, and I'm gonna have a good time talking about you. And don't be thinking you're gonna run to the hair club for men. I'm going to still talk about you anyway. Grecian form and all of that. It's not going to work for you because I'm going to be going in on you about your thinning hair and your sagging balls and your half-mast dick. Okay? So see, that would be me. You're not going to talk about me. I'm going to go in on you. That's what we're going to do. Because you want to think that this is so much fun that to talk about people, well, let's see how that works for you. Right? Because two can play this game. And whatever his weakness is, I will show be all over it. Yeah, well, look where you used to have muscles. Now this shit's swinging in the wind. I could bet it. Swing, 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 and stuff like that. Just talk about his ass. Now, and this thing about his comments that he keeps making about his, what he did when he was a teenager and all this old kind of stuff. Say, you know how long ago that was in the rearview mirror? Why are you still talking about that? Let's talk about your old ass from last week. Let's talk about that. So I don't know. This guy is bad news. I don't know why you still dealing with him. And I would just be like done. After I cussed him out and talked about him and heard every feeling that he ever had. Because my thing is once you open that door, don't say nothing when I go rolling through. Don't say nothing. Just sit there and take it like a man because you didn't have no problem dishing the shit out, right? So when I start going in on you and don't stop for 30 minutes, don't say shit. Don't. You have nothing to say. Yeah, go just dance on it. Just like they put on some tap shoes like Fred Astaire or somebody. And just go to town. Just tap dance on his ego. And just have myself a good old time. Fucking freak. Question number 20. Female 30 to 35 from Swindon in the UK. Swindon. I don't know where that is. I never heard of it before. Having ventured into online dating and having had weirdly positive encounters so far, men being polite, not forward, etc. Oh, well, that's a rarity. I've had two messages from two different men tonight referencing stuff, quote, we can do this summer or in the future. Men I have never even met or messaged before today. Really? Oh, future talking type of narcs. This gives me the heebie jeebies and makes me want to unmatch. Am I overreacting? The ones I've talked to so far have been very laid back and haven't even suggested meeting after 1 or 2 weeks of chat, which is kind of the other extreme. So seeing some actual interest is nice, but the future faking makes me a bit uncomfortable. Surely they should not be talking about any future plans whatsoever on the first day of messaging. What do you think about men who do things like this? This is a test. It's a test to see how desperate you are. And if you're going to jump, you're going to bite. Like, oh, yeah, we could do that. That would be great. This and that. You haven't even laid eyes on this motherfucker. You haven't talked to him on the phone. You don't know anything about him other than some little funky message he sent you on some website. Some little message, and he's talking about what we can do. That's just a test to see if you're going to be desperate. So, what you're supposed to do, if they do stuff like that, you have to respond. Okay, you can't just let them run game on you and you don't respond because if you don't respond in a way that crushes them, it makes them think A, that you're stupid, or B, you don't know the game. Okay, either one of those really basically means that you're stupid. But the second one may be more naive. So, what you do is you would send him back and say, stop future faking me. I don't know anything about you. What make you think I want to go anywhere with your ass? That's what you say to them. And you just shut it down. Most likely after you respond that way, they will unfriend you, unmatch, whatever you call it, and then you don't have to worry about it. Right? I don't have no problem with, end up traffic. What? She's too old for that. She's in the 30 to 35 age group. She ain't getting traffic. They like teenagers. But yeah, you have to do something. Anyway, whatever works for you, you need to respond in a way that shuts that down because don't let them think that you didn't catch it and that you're so naive and stupid that you don't know the game. But yeah, you shut that shit down. Well, what do I think about men who do things like that? They're stupid. Question number 21. This is a female in the 50 to 55 age group from Providence, Rhode Island. I need to know if I'm wrong or if I handled this situation incorrectly. I'm a mother of two daughters, Lisa, who just turned 14, Lisa, and Renee, who just turned 21 in February. Renee has a boyfriend who visits with her often. He's not too polite and lacks social skills and always ends up doing things that can be annoying. It's been affecting Lisa. Lisa's the young one, remember? And there have been instances where Renee's boyfriend ruined Lisa's math project and broke her digital camera by dropping it. Because of his reckless behavior, I've set some rules for him to follow, like not touching anything that belongs to Lisa. Renee didn't approve and said I was treating her boyfriend like a child and asked me to treat him like it's his own home, but I made it clear he comes as a guest and should be behaving as such. A few days ago was Lisa's birthday. My sister picked up the cake that we'd pre-ordered, and I put it in the refrigerator until we finished with preparations. While we were upstairs, Renee's boyfriend was in the living room. I went downstairs into the kitchen to get the cake, opened the refrigerator, and saw that someone had cut a huge piece out of the birthday cake. I was furious, and I knew it was Renee's boyfriend. Oh, hell no. I went to ask him, and he admitted that it was him. I screamed at him and said he was sorry, but he was hungry. I told him it was my daughter's birthday cake and asked him if there was really nothing he could have eaten, and he said yes, but there wasn't really. Yes, there was, but he really wanted a piece of that cake because he couldn't wait till the party started. I kept screaming at him and that he ruined the entire party now, and Lisa won't want to blow out the candles when the cake looks like that. He got defensive and said that it didn't matter if he ate it before. He's talking back to you in your house about your other daughter's cake? I'm just not believing. You know there's some white folks. I'm sorry. Because, a black mother would have went and got her pistol and shot at that motherfucker. At least this black mother would have. I would have been shooting him. Okay, is all those birthday party rules are lame and people should just eat the freaking cake once it arrives. Also said that it wasn't like he ate the whole thing. This motherfucker is unbelievable. I lost it and told him to get out of my house. He kept calling for Renee to come downstairs and, quote, deal with me. Renee yelled at him and thought that was it, saying saying that what he did didn't warrant me kicking him out, but I insisted he leave immediately. She begged me to let it go, but I said not a chance. They both left after they argued with me and got my sister involved. Now your daughter's arguing with you? Oh, we had to delay the celebration for 2 hours so we could get another cake. Unlike the previous one, this one wasn't customized. Renee has been angry at me for how I treated her boyfriend and kicking him out on Lisa's birthday and said that she wouldn't have minded, but I was disrespecting her boyfriend and looking for excuses to keep him out of the house. Also said I caused them to miss the party. She wanted me to call him and apologize, but I refused. Am I wrong? Absolutely not. And actually, I think you were very mild because let me tell you how this would have went with if this was me. Okay, first of all, he ate some of the cake. I would have told him to undump his pockets out because he just bought him a birthday cake. Whatever I paid for that cake, I would be getting the money back from his ass. Okay, that would have been step one. Step two, I would have been arguing with him. I just would have said either get the fuck out, I'm gonna shoot you, and you're gonna go out in the coroner's van. Those are your two choices. You go out walking or you go out in a van. Which one do you want? And my daughter come trying to argue with me about it, talking about disrespecting him. I sure did. Why? Because he disrespected me in my fucking house. This motherfucker can get out, and if you don't like it, you can pack your shit and go with him. Because your ass is 21 years old. I don't need to take care of you. You don't need to live here. Take your raggedy ass, trifling, two-bit piece of shit boyfriend and take your raggedy, think you're going to argue with your mama ass out and get the fuck out of my house, both of you. That's what would have happened to me, and I wouldn't have gave a fuck. And she'd have been mad when my mother threw me out. Sure did. You an adult. Make it happen. Make it work. You think you want to be telling me something about this raggedy ass boyfriend that you got? Go and live with his fucking ass and his family then. Get out. You're not welcome here, and neither is your boyfriend. And and even if I didn't throw her out, it's like you let me see that motherfucker come in this house one more time. I'm calling the police and I'm getting a restraining order on him, and then I'll dare him to come up in here because once he tries to, I'll have license to kill him. Because I said no. I said, get out. It's my goddamn house. I pay all the bills in this bitch, and ain't nobody's name on this mortgage but mine. This is my shit, and I decide who comes in the fuck out of here and who goes in and out of my refrigerator. Now, see, yeah, but so is the daughter. The daughter's going to be standing up for this boyfriend over the mother who's fed and clothed her for all these years and worried about her and protected her and stuff. She going to be siding with this monkey who ate her little sister's birthday cake. She should have been having both. If that was my boyfriend who did some egregious shit like that, my mother wouldn't have had to worry because I would have been bopping him upside the head with something and breaking up with him on the spot. That's so disrespectful. It's disrespectful to my mother. It's disrespectful to all the guests. And it's disrespectful to my baby sister on her 14th birthday. You only get one 14th birthday, and he fucked it up without a care in the world and acting all defensive about it. That's the part that would have made me grab my baseball bat or my or Roscoe. Yeah, but she's stupid. The daughter's stupid, and that's why, see, she would have had to leave too. I just, both of y'all get the fuck out. And you had to miss the party. No, you missed the party because you chose a stupid boyfriend, and because you chose to side with him over your mother and sister. That's why you missed the party. That was your choice. So don't be trying to flip that shit on to me. You did that to your damn self. That's what I would have told her. This lady, you are too nice. You coddle and all this to your daughter, and you should have cussed her bitch out too. Bitch ass out, cussed him out, cussed them both out, thrown them out, told her to get her shit and leave the house, and she's not welcome back. I would have told her all kind of shit. Coming at me like that, ain't gonna be trying to argue with me. No, get out. I'm through with you. You not staying here no more. And she would have got a reality check. So talking about somebody wanting to apologize, the one who need to be apologizing is you. And you would be doing that before you try to come back up in my house, but I still wouldn't let her in. You can't even come visit. I'll visit you in Starbucks and see how you doing. You ain't coming back in my house. Give me them keys too. And any car I bought you, that's mine. Give me my keys. See, I would have just dropped a hammer on her ass. She would have left with whatever clothes she could fit in her hefty bag, and then that would have been it. Because you want this boyfriend so much, and you think he's so fucking right, then you leave with the shit in your hefty bag and your hush puppies and your skateboard and make the magic happen. Oh, this is so stupid. Question 22. We got 25 questions on What the Fuck Tuesday today. This is a female in the 60 to 65 age group from Goose Creek, South Carolina. I am 60 and own my own home, which I had planned on selling next month when my youngest moves out west. I met my boyfriend after I had made this decision. He owns his own home and has asked me to instead move in with him in Myrtle Beach. We have worked out bills, chores, etc. He rents out the bottom of his primary home during the months of June through September to the same couple for the last 4 years. But I'm a private person. I told him I like my privacy and I would not want others living there next year. I offered to financially compensate him for the amount he would not get from the rental. We are both financially secure. He says he will see they may not want to come back. Honestly, am I being unreasonable? This would be a major move on my part. Thanks. Why are you moving in with him? You said you had planned on selling your house and move out west. Why do you want to change your plan for what you wanted to do to move to Myrtle Beach and live in a house with a man that you just really met? Why would you do that? I can understand that you're an older lady and you might feel like this is your last chance at romance and all this kind of stuff. But you know how many people retire to California and how many men you could meet in that age group out here? You think you need to change your whole life plan just for one in Myrtle Beach? And then you're going to be compensating him? I'm going to offer to compensate his ass for shit. It's just you want me to move in. This is one of the plan. This is the contingency of me moving in there. No, I don't want other people in the house. If that's a problem for you, or you feel like you can't afford it, or you need that extra income, whatever, then I won't move in, and I'll move out west like I planned. So, see, you're overreaching here. What I'm seeing is a woman who's going. You're losing. You're changing everything. You're changing your whole life, all your plans to accommodate his desire to live with you. And then to the point where you want to give him money to not have people in the house that you really don't need to be living in anyway. I really think you need to slow down and think about this because I'm concerned that you're going to do this and move in with him and then find out that it's really not what you thought it was. Why don't you keep your house and just go stay with him for a couple of weeks or a month or something? Kind of get a feel for what it's going to feel like. It's summertime. Myrtle Beach is popping right now. So, I mean, do that and just, kind of get the lay of the land before you make a decision. You just going from like all or nothing. And I don't think that's a good idea for somebody who was making the plans you were making and in your age group. I don't think that's a very smart decision. So, I don't know what he's trying to do because he's got his own house. I mean, But she says they worked out bills and chores and all that. Because, I mean, like, for two retirees on a fixed income, splitting expenses would be helpful to both of them. So I don't see where he's really going to be, advantage for him over her. It's not that. The part that's going to be the problem is her offering to, financially compensate him for them people not being in a house that she doesn't have to live in because she got her own house. So I don't know. I mean, he's a 60 something year old man. How good could the dick really be that you want to go through all these changes for it? I'm sorry. But, well, Keith, they're just older people. They just don't want to be alone. There's a lot of people that do that. They retiree types that, move in together. I wouldn't do it, but the people do it because they just want to feel like they have somebody. But she, that's fine if you just giving up an apartment and, you're going to be splitting expenses and it's like a room. You know what I mean? But she's giving up like some big changes that she had planned for herself. Her dreams are she's giving them up. And so that's why I'm kind of concerned that she's giving too much in a situation where he's not really giving anything. Because even the one thing he would be giving up is this, compensation thing for these the bottom rental. She wants to give him the money. So what is he investing here? Nothing. And she's investing everything, and I don't like it. So that's why I want her to slow down and go and visit him and stay there for a month or two or something, and then go back to your house and then think about this. And then if it's working, then you could do it. And if not, then you could proceed with your plans to go back to go to the West Coast, but you would have still had a nice summer in Myrtle Beach. Right? So you wouldn't have really lost anything. Let's move on to question number 23. Yeah, see, I'm with you, Maya. I'm not doing that. Male, 21 to 25 from Blacksburg, Virginia. All these places I never heard of. My girlfriend and I have been together for 2 years, and that's why it's really disturbing. Uh-oh. My girlfriend is currently broke. She hasn't had a job since college, and in her field rather, since college, and is pretty bad down in debt. Okay, I don't know what it is. I support her by letting her live rent free and paying for necessities. She currently works at McDonald's to supplement her income and makes a little bit more than unemployment. Anyway, it was her brother's birthday. He's turning 16 and she loves him. She wanted to get him a car for his birthday, and somehow she did. It wasn't a good car. It was probably from the Stone Age, but it worked and it made him happy. Her parents aren't doing well either, so this car also helped them out, and they were really grateful. I was there and got him some new stickers as a gift. The car probably costed about 3 grand, and I was surprised she could afford it because being stuck up under $100,000 of student debt is quite the burden. When we were home, I got a notification from my bank and I saw that $1,000 had successfully been paid to the dealership. I was like, wait, what the fuck? I immediately confronted her and she broke down and told me that she did take my card because she couldn't come up with the money and was going to pay me back. I was really pissed and kind of unloaded on her and slept in another room. It's morning now and I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I feel this is a big enough reason to break up with her and take her to small claims court. Am I jumping the gun? Oh boy. Woo, wow. Okay, this how long have you been with this girl? Let me see this. 2 years. Okay. You know, wow, there's so much to consider here because basically what she did was steal because she didn't discuss this with you. All that she would have done is like, honey, can I borrow? I need $1,000 more to get this, and I can pay you back, like $100 a month for 10 months, and then I'm sure you would have agreed, and then it would have been over and above board and all, cut. It would have been cool, and then or you may have even just said, okay, that's fine, I'll contribute, I'll help, get the car, and then we can both say it's our gift to him and the parents or whatever. I mean, there's so many things that how this could have been handled in a way that brought you two closer together and that, open communication, up on top, above board, honest, up front, all that kind of stuff. But instead, she chose to go behind your back and steal your money. That's fraud. And that's why you're torn because you love her. you are trying to figure out if this is a red flag, to destroy the relationship, or if she really can just let this pass and collect the money from her on a monthly payment basis. That's what you're thinking. I can see that, but just by what you wrote, that's why you're so torn. I'm gonna say this. If I were you, I would look through all my checking and savings accounts, all my checks. I would go over my bank account with a fine tooth comb because I would want to make sure that something she didn't slip and take, because it could have been something that you might not have noticed. $50, $25, $100. If you got a real good job and stuff and you don't watch your accounts that closely, you could have she could have slipped that out and you wouldn't even know. So that's going to be the first thing I want you to do. Okay, look that over. Now, based on that, if all that's missing is the $1,000, it's only limited to this one time, this one indiscretion, then you two need to have a conversation. And what you need to decide is if this is something that you can trust her again over. If you get past this, can you still trust this woman? I can't make that decision for you. That's one you have to make, on your own. If it were me, I'd just get rid of her. I couldn't trust her. See, my thing is, I don't want to have to lock up my credit cards and my checkbook and my social security card and my all my stuff in a safe when, to protect myself from you. You're supposed to be like you're supposed to have my back. We have each other's back. We're supposed to be a team. And like I said the other day, Sunday, when you get married, the marriage doesn't start the cohesiveness, the partnership does not begin once you say I do. It's already there. The marriage vows and the wedding ceremony are merely a way to publicly acknowledge the emotional tie and the verbal commitment that you have made to this individual. If you are having these kinds of problems with this woman after 2 years, this does not bode well for a marriage because this is her mentality to be sneaky and underhanded and to take what she wants without regard for how it impacts you and it's your stuff. I mean, what if you needed it? You have, for I don't know, maybe you're going to help your mother get a medical treatment or something, and you needed that $1,000, and now it's gone. And with her making at McDonald's, it's going to take her a long time to get it back. So, there was no communication here. It was just very underhanded and sneaky. And she didn't even tell you that she did it. She waited until you confronted her. So all in all, dude, I can tell though that you don't want to make this you don't want to just jump and make that decision because then you'll be regretting it. That's why I'm telling you to go do the step by step. I can see your confusion and your lack of wanting to really take a firm, decisive action with her. So that's why I'm telling you first start by looking through all your accounts with a fine tooth comb, and then ask her why she did not consult you and talk about this. See what her reason is, then make your decision. Okay. But I'm telling you, for me, like if I had a boyfriend who did some shit like this, we would be broke up on the spot. This thing that you have and all these emotions you having, I don't work like that because my money, like you take my shit, you hurt me in some kind of way, and you hurt my kid, you do anything to my property, you're out on the spot. And I don't give a fuck about how much I loved you yesterday. That was then and this is now. And my feelings turn off like a switch. Cause you do some crazy fucked up shit. Well, I might have loved you 5 minutes ago, but now I don't. And a lot of people don't understand that. Well, the car, if the car is a raggedy little used car, then depending on how long he had it, how much mileage and stuff, even if he took it back, he'd have to file a police report. I mean, it's like there's a lot that would have to go on for that to be an effective solution. But and it doesn't sound like he's willing to do that. But if he had money in the bank and he got this notice of $1,000, chances are he's got a little change in the bank. It's probably not going to hurt him that much. But it's not. That's not the point. It's the principle of how she was sneaky and did it behind his back. And so that's a personality. That's a character trait that most people would not want to have in their spouse. So you have some thinking to do, but that's why I want you to do it step by step so you can arrive at this conclusion in a way that's comfortable for you that this relationship is not gonna work. You just not, this ain't gonna work. You gonna have to do something about getting her up out of there. She gonna have to go back live with her parents or something. But you get there by, get there slowly and surely in a way that makes you comfortable. So when you make that cut, you're okay with it. That's what I want you to do. Question 24. This is our next to last question. Female 21 to 25 from Roxbury in Boston. My ex's cousin invited me to her baby shower, and my boyfriend won't let me go. How he gonna stop you? I dated my ex for quite a while and loved his family. They were like my own, especially when I wasn't on the best terms with my blood relatives. It meant a lot, feeling like I had that when I didn't have that kind of close, warm relationship with my family. So they hold a special place in my heart. I also ended on good terms with my ex. There was no animosity, and now we're pretty platonic and pretty chill. Long story short, I'm in a new relationship, and my ex's cousin invited me to her baby shower. But my boyfriend feels uncomfortable if I were to go, which I understand. As a compromise, I said, what if I drop off a gift to show face and support and then leave? It'd be really nice to see old faces since don't have many friends. And I also want to show up for her since I care about her and I wish her much happiness as a new mom. He still doesn't agree. He says it's disrespectful towards him that I'm even still in contact with him at all. Am I being unreasonable or pushy? No. First of all, I'm wondering why you told him. Okay, see, again, big mouths, big mouths. This is the kind of thing this is your friend's family, your ex. You should have never said anything to him. What's wrong with these women that's always running off at the mouth, telling some shit that is none of his business? What man needs to be trying to regulate on somebody about a fucking baby shower? Are you kidding me right now? So what you need to do is tell him, well, guess what? I'm gonna go anyway because these people mean a lot to me, and everybody only has first baby one time, and I want to be there. Now you can be mad about it if you want to, or we can break up if you want to. Either one is fine with me, whichever way you want to roll with this. But I'm gonna go. You're not gonna tell me where I can and cannot go. Okay, you ain't my daddy. And that's the part that you seem to be confused about. Well, he won't let you. How he gonna stop you? He gonna lock you in a closet or something? How is this a man gonna stop a grown woman from going anywhere that she wants to go? But like I said, you were stupid to open your mouth and tell him. That was the main mistake. You should have just went. And then when you came back, you could have said, "Yeah, I went to a baby shower." And he would have been like, "Oh, who was it?" Oh, never mind. It's nobody you know. That's all you had to do. And then all this drama and bullshit here, you could have saved yourself all that. Because it's like you were going to the baby shower. It's just a bunch of women talking about kids and playing little silly parlor games and drinking punch and having cake and shit. It's nothing to be for him to feel threatened about. Like when my daughter, girl, I had 3 baby showers. I had one at work. They give me a surprise party at work for a surprise shower at work. And then, so that was before she was born. And we didn't know it was going to be a girl. And then I had one with my friends also before she was born. And then I had one with my family. One of my aunts threw it after she was born, and we knew it was a girl. So they bought, all girl stuff. So I had 3 baby showers. I was tired of opening gifts. It was nice though. But this, you had 3 too, girl, and you can't tell people not to do it because they was all excited, all excited. But that's what I would suggest to you in the future, young lady. Think about the situation before you open your mouth and tell a man. It's not like you're doing something, that's like gonna harm your relationship. But there are certain things as a woman that you do, places that you will go with your girlfriends, information that you will hear from your girlfriends and female relatives and that kind of stuff. That you need to do this. Okay, men in your life, those are your lovers and they're wonderful people and all this kind of stuff. And you can tell them things about yourself, your personal self. But do they need to know everything about other women in your life and what you do with them and what they say to you and back and forth and stuff? See, there's a limit. You have to put boundaries about it around what you tell men in that kind of regard. And you going to a baby shower has zero to do with him, and it's something you should have never discussed with him because you don't need his fucking permission to go to a damn baby shower. All right? That's what I got to say about that. Now, here's the last question. It looks long as hell. Oh my God. Okay. Well, one thing I want to remind people, if weren't here earlier, if you have a letter, you have an advice issue, something that's going on that's just burning a hole in your soul, and you want advice on it, you hear the kind of advice I give. Don't think I'm gonna hold your hand and be like Dear Abby. I'm gonna rip your ass if it needs to be ripped. So you look in the show description down below, just scroll down and you'll see kind of near the bottom there's something that says give free advice or submit your question to the show or something like that. Anyway, you click the link. It's going to take you to a form. You fill out the form and then press send, and it will come to us. It has releases and stuff on there that allows me to answer the question, to reproduce it on the air, and all this old stuff here. So I like people to do that. Do not email me. Use the advice submission form. Otherwise, I'm not going to deal with your question. It's not going to make it to the show. So that's that. And as well, if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscription button and join the club. Okay, now here we go. This last question is long as hell. So hold on. This is from a guy in the 30 to 35 age group from Ontario, British Columbia, Canada. I've been married to my wife, Catherine, for about a year, and we've been together for 3. I'm 30, she's 26. We got married at a courthouse in the middle of a pandemic for health insurance reasons, but we were both happy about getting married and we're planning to have a huge ceremony next year. I had a very unhealthy relationship before this, so I was hesitant in our relationship at first, but she's the kindest person I've ever met, selfless, caring, a beautiful soul, and a beautiful body, and we make each other so much better. I could not have asked for a better partner. Hmm, that sounds good. Usually that's Now I'm wondering what the problem is. See, now I'm scared to read it because usually on the advice column you only get problems. So I'm assuming with all these 2 more pages of text, there's a drama here coming. So Catherine is close with her family, but not with her sister Monica, who's 33. So Catherine is 26, Monica's 33. Catherine always told me that the age gap didn't help, but that mostly Monica treated her horribly throughout their childhood. She was apparently always appointed as Catherine's babysitter and used those occasions to tease her however she could, once destroying a Barbie that Catherine loved, destroying something of hers, and then crying to their parents about how horrible Catherine had been, bullying her about her weight, stealing her friends, messing with her social life however she could. Hmm. Okay, so she was really just really harassing her younger sister. Personally, I've met Monica several times the last 4 years, and she was kind and loving towards everyone, Catherine included. She'd always make sure to drive those of us home who drank too much, offered us her vacation home, a beautiful beach property for our honeymoon, etc. She generally wasn't unlike Catherine herself, honestly. I got to be honest, in all those interactions, it was always Catherine who'd come off as cold and hostile towards her sister, while Monica was nothing but sweet. The thing is, Catherine was summoned to her parents' house a few months ago, and when she came back, she was in the worst mood I've ever seen her in. When I asked, she told me that her family had pulled an intervention on her, trying to force her to make up with Monica. She refused and left, and we got calls from her parents several times a day for weeks after that. She'd always tell me to ignore them. Hmm. This is sound. This past weekend, I took a trip with 2 of my buddies, and who do we run into at the top of the hiking trail but Catherine's parents? The interaction was tense, but after a few strange looks, I think they realized that I had no idea why they were being so cold. Catherine's mother then told me through tears that Catherine, without telling me, had been refusing for months to undergo tests to see if she'd be a compatible liver donor for her sister, and that Monica had died 2 weeks ago. I know this is not funny, but I'm like, girlfriend is really mad at her. I mean, like super mad. I was and am still shaken to the bone. I had no idea what to say to Catherine's parents. I felt so embarrassed, horrified, and I think they could tell. So now here I am. Deb, I have no idea how to process this. I understand Monica treated Kathleen horribly in their childhood. Maybe I got a wrong picture from my wife, but the things she told me sounded like petty sibling squabbles. Nothing unlike what my siblings and I did to each other. We have what I thought was a completely open relationship, so I don't think she's been hiding anything major there. But on the other hand, she didn't tell me that her sister died, and he put a whole bunch of question marks and exclamation marks and more question marks. Thinking about it now, there's so many things make much more sense. But what I'm grappling with the most is that while I trust and believe her and I'm on her side, I'm not sure I can forgive her for this. For abandoning her own sister in a time of need? I knew her sister. Whatever Monica did in the past, she was not that person anymore, and I don't think she deserved to die. Well, I confronted Catherine about it. She cried, but said that she didn't owe Monica anything. I don't know what to do now, and could really use your logic and insight. You're not going to do anything because it's not your fight. Let me see. How can I go through this? Okay, of course the parents are upset because they just lost their daughter. But what they were depending on is for one daughter to sacrifice half of her liver, that's hers, for a sister that tormented her in her childhood. Now you know, you say how you and your siblings were. Okay, but you're not Catherine. You don't know. Everybody takes things differently. Just look at how the people writing in this advice column, how they handle situations versus how I would handle them. How they feel about the stuff that's being said and done to them versus how I would feel about it. So, we can't project what we think and what we feel and what we would do and how we process stuff and assign other people blame and guilt because they don't act like and accept and treat other people the way that we think we would. You, sir, have never been in a situation where you would have to give up half of your liver. What if the half that you have gets fucked up and you have to get a piece of the root? Then you don't have none. Okay? Catherine knew that she did not want to give up her liver, not a piece of it, not a scrap of it, not one cell to her sister. Why bother getting tested then? So you saying it's like, well, she quote let her sister die. That's putting too much on it. Her sister was going to die regardless. There's no guarantee after Catherine got her liver cut up and don't have that her sister would even still make it. Sometimes when people get those out organ transplants, the body rejects it and they still die. And then in the meantime, Catherine is without half of her liver. Did you think of that? I'm sure Catherine thought of it. So now the parents, of course, all they're thinking about is, well, our daughter died, and you could have saved her. They don't know that because they don't. She never got tested, so they don't know if she's a suitable donor or not. So all of y'all are blaming her for this girl dying when you have no proof, no facts, and you aren't her. You don't know what she felt, what she think, or how much the girl hurt her when she was a child, because your woman, as you describe her as being all sensitive, loving, and all this kind of stuff, that means she's a sensitive type of person. So things are going to hurt her and impact her much more deeply than they would say for somebody like me who just say, fuck you. I don't give a fuck about you or your liver or your death or nothing. See, that's what I would have said to her. It's like, bitch, I bet you think about all the times that you made me feel bad. I hope your ass died. I'm not coming to your funeral. I'm going to spit on your casket. You don't want me there. See, I would say rude shit like that. So then, but those kind of things don't impact me. And if somebody had died and the parents came to me saying, well, you let her die, so fucking what? You should have had a defective ass kid then. And that's your fault. You had a baby with a fucked up liver. I don't have shit to do with that. My liver's fine. See, I'm just saying, I say stuff like that to my parents. They wouldn't, but everybody in my family knows don't say crazy shit to her because she will cuss you out. I'm just saying, Tansy, it's like shit. Don't try to put that on me because your kid died. You have some for defective liver making genes, you and your husband. That's y'all's fault. I don't have shit to do with that. Was I there fucking making that damn kid with a fucked up liver? That was you. Leave me out of it. But you, sir, all jokes and rudeness aside, you really need to slow your roll. Because, yeah, you're shocked and you're appalled and you all this old stuff here. But your loyalty is supposed to be to your wife under any circumstances. You don't put judgments on her about what she wants to do with her body. That's not your fight. That's not your decision. That's not your nothing. Okay? You don't have no decision-making power in that, and neither do those parents. So she decided she didn't want to give her liver up. She didn't want to get tested. That's fine. You accept that because it's her body. Okay? You don't have, you sitting up there talking, I don't think I can forgive her. Fuck you. It's not for you to forgive her. Okay? It has nothing to do with you. You ain't in that family. You a mere husband. And folks get divorced and remarried every day. So you could husband this week and motherfucker, you could not be next. So you better watch what you do. Don't be coming at this girl all kind of crazy. Exactly. Well, I have her back, Lady B, but of course she didn't write me. But because I understand every kid Even in a family where there's like five, six, three kids, each one of them is going to experience their family upbringing in the home and their interactions with the parents and with the other siblings in a different way. Each one of them, no matter what kind of way the parents feel like they treated them equally. Obviously, there was a lot of bullying and tormenting going on, mental, physical, and emotional torture that this woman who maybe changed now put her through. Okay, and you say that was fine, it happened to you when you was a kid, but like I said, you're not her, so you can't put what you think on it. A lot of men do that with women. Well, women should be happy when men holler at them on the street. That means it's a compliment, whereas women feel like it's called street harassment. We don't like it. We don't like you trying to holler at us down the street. But see, men want to turn it around and say, well, it's a compliment. It means that, we think you're pretty and you should like it. So this is another example of it. You're putting your feelings about a situation onto your wife, thinking that she should have responded in the way that you fucking want her to. And I'm telling you, that's going to get your ass divorced. So you need to watch what you do and what you say. You doing too much. You doing way, way, way too much. Stay the fuck out of it. You treat your wife the same you've always treated her, because nothing about this has anything to do with you. And I'm with her, you know, because like I said, there's no guarantee once you get the transplant that she was gonna live anyway, because the body was gonna reject it. I knew a man, he had a wife, she needed got a liver transplant. She'd been trying to be on the list for years, right? Her heifer ass gets the transplant, and then she took the meds and all stuff, and then just what I said happened. Her body rejected it. They did all kind of stuff, and try to get her the body to accept the liver and all that, and it didn't happen, and she died anyway. So the person who gave her the liver, you know, just gave up half their liver for nothing. It's like I'm going under the knife giving you my liver, bitch. Your ass better live to be 900 years old. That's all I'm gonna tell you. But that's the show for today. This was these are some doozy questions in here today. And I repeat, if you want to submit a question to the channel, look in the show description down below and click the link, send in your question for the next What the Fuck Tuesday. This Friday night, we'll be here at 6 p.m. with our return of the Dusty News Network for the summer. That's our summer season. It's full of laughs and craziness and, just something light and fun that we do. If you have something, you guys run across a meme, some crazy, dusty stuff that you want to put on the show, then feel free to submit it to survivingdating@gmail.com. Make the subject line DNN or Dusty News, either one, and they filter into the folder for the show. And we'll make all the slides and get everything ready for you guys. Dan, where's my thing? But other than that, yeah, be sure to hit that subscription button and the like button on your way out if you're not already a subscriber. And feel free to share a link or two. Word of mouth is the best way to get the word out about the Destrism channel and all the valuable information here for young ladies to learn about self-esteem, boundaries, and making better decisions in relationships with men. I appreciate your guys' support and your patronage and your participation in the show. I'll see y'all on Friday night. Bye-bye.